Chapter 1. On Christmas Eve, the lights were bright and the air was filled with the smell of fireworks. In the private No. 2 high school, there was a dance for the students. Sorry, I have a partner. I don't have a partner, but you're too ugly. Sorry, you're a good person. Li Fan was about to collapse. Wasn't it just inviting a partner for a Christmas dance? Why was it more difficult than seeking scriptures? It's fine if you despise me for being ugly, but why are you giving me a good person card? Li Fan invited 5 or 6 dance partners in one night, but they all failed. In the end, he even found a fat girl who could hold 2 of him. This guy actually said that he didn't look like Li Yifeng. Fuck, you want Li Yifeng to be your dance partner with that kind of conduct of yours? You're crazy. What kind of person is this? Li Fan cursed in his heart. Why did a private high school learn fashion from others and hold a Christmas dance? What a nice way to put it. What do you mean integrate with the international community? Integrate your head. We're all high school students. Can't we study hard? Why are we dancing for no reason? Especially when all the students around him had found partners, but he was still alone. This was the first time he felt a sense of sadness. Yo, Li Fan, what a rare guest. Why are you here? The rich second-generation Wang Chang walked over with the class belle Wang Xiaoyuan. His face was full of sarcasm. Is this dance hosted by your family? I don't think I've heard of it. Li Fan retorted. He was unhappy when he saw this Wang Chang. Relying on his family's money, he didn't know how to show off. What are you so proud of? Your father will go to jail sooner or later. The dead duck is so stubborn. Li Fan, why don't you think about what's the point of you coming here? You can't even find a partner. Are you here to embarrass yourself? Wang Chang hugged the class belle and smiled faintly. If I were you, I wouldn't come. Because I have a face. If a person doesn't have a face, it'll be boring. Isn't that right, Xiaoyuan? Isn't that right? Wang Xiaoyuan was also arrogant like a proud little peacock. The school is also like this. It's a good dance, but why did they let anyone come? It's lowering the standard of the dance. Fuck your mother. Li Fan wanted to beat someone up. But when he saw Wang Chang's sturdy physique, he endured it. Li Fan, I'm just thinking about you. It's time for you to wake up. Your sex life will depend on your hands. Wang Chang scolded Li Fan, if you can find a dance partner today, I'll eat this cup. He picked up a goblet of orange juice and swore. After all, it was a dance for high school students. Only the teachers could drink alcohol, while the students could only drink fruit juice and Coke. Li Fan felt sorrow from the bottom of his heart. This guy looked down on people too much. A man lives with his breath, a tree lives with its bark. I can't let this guy look down on me. Li Fan was about to look for his next target when the principal with the fashionable Mediterranean hairstyle stepped onto the podium and announced joyfully. Students, in response to the call of the country, we must develop moral, intellectual, physical, aesthetic, and labor in an all-round way. Our second middle school not only held this Christmas party, but also welcomed a new school board member. Her name is Muronging. Let's welcome Murong school board member with a round of applause. Li Fan felt a bit strange. A school board member should be an old lady in her 70s or 80s. What's there to look at? But when this Muronging gracefully stepped onto the stage, his eyes could not move away. This new school board member is simply a national beauty. When she stepped onto the stage, not only Li Fan, but all the boys were stunned. The girls were also jealous. The entire dance floor was so quiet that even a pin drop could be heard. All eyes were focused on Muronging. They saw this Murong school board member in her 20s. Her black hair cascaded down like a waterfall. She wore an aqua blue dress. Standing there, her pair of eyes seemed to be able to captivate the souls of the boys below. Li Fan's heart was beating faster. He felt like he was in love for the first time. Damn, come to think of it, I don't seem to have a first love. The two waiters next to her with wine plates also stared straight at the new school board member. As a result, their heads directly collided with each other, and the wine spilled all over them. Still, no one noticed them. Everyone's eyes were attracted by this Murong school board member. Well, Murong school board member, do you have anything to say to all the teachers and students? The principal was very attentive to the new school board member. Murong nodded and took the microphone. At this moment, all the boys pricked up their ears for fear of missing a word. That girl, your neckline is too low. You don't have a girl's modesty. Pull it up a little. Ah. Wang Xiaoyuan, who was pointed at, was stunned for a moment. What did she mean? Wang Chang reacted quickly and quickly reached out to pull up her neckline. And the student over there, your skirt is too low. Don't you feel ashamed? Murong continued to reprimand, and a girl in a miniskirt on the opposite side blushed. And principal, please keep a 1 meter distance from me, thank you. The principal was dumbfounded, and Wang Xiaoyuan muttered next to him, what era is this woman from? The 70s. Well, everyone has felt the enthusiasm of the new school board member. Let's continue to dance. The principal wiped his cold sweat, took back the microphone, and regained control of the situation. Sister Murong School, dance with me. Sister Murong School, please do me the honor. Sister Murong School, please. If you don't dance with me, I'll jump off the building. The boys went crazy and called her sister sweetly. They invited Murong to dance with all kinds of dance invitations, but all were rejected by Murong. Including some male teachers, they couldn't get a backdoor with Murong. A male teacher directly called his girlfriend and announced their breakup immediately, ready to pursue Murong. It's very difficult to invite Director Murong School. Only I, the principal, can invite her. The principal looked at the deflated teachers and students and smiled proudly. Director Murong School, it's understandable for young people to be hot-blooded and impulsive. When I was young, I also won the Disco Dance King. Don't pay attention to them. Let me dance with you. Murong smiled sweetly, and the hearts of the surrounding boys melted. Can I? No. The principal collapsed. This new director was too arrogant. This is a dance party. Don't you want to find a partner? I already have someone to choose. Murong said, separated the crowd, and walked down the stage. Wang Chang saw Murong walking toward him, and his heart bloomed with joy. He pushed Wang Xiaoyuan away, tidied up his collar, and prepared to invite Murong for a dance. Who would have thought that Murong went straight to Li Fan's side and stretched out her slender jade hand to Li Fan. You're not going to invite me for a dance. The surrounding people's jaws dropped to the ground. Li Fan himself was also stunned. What's going on? This exquisite beauty actually invited me to dance. Did the sun rise from the west? Wang Chang regained his senses after a long time, gnashing his teeth in hatred. What virtue and ability does this kid have? How is he better than me, to actually let Murong invite him to dance? Could it be that this new director is blind? Li Fan forgot to let Wang Chang eat the cup. Seeing that he did not move, Murong lightly frowned. What? Don't tell me you want me to invite you. Chapter 2. The Iron Tree Blossoms. Li Fan felt the same way. He had been practicing the Qilin arm for more than 10 years. Was it finally going to explode today? This was the first time he was in such close contact with a girl. He was too excited. Murong Ying's body smelled really good. He heard that some girls carried fragrance on their bodies. Today was an eye-opener for him. Although he was dancing with a beauty, Li Fan felt like he was sitting on pins and needles. The murderous aura around them was so thick that it could almost kill someone. Then again, looking at Wang Chang's green eyes, Li Fan was secretly pleased. He still had to act like a gentleman and show some basic respect to girls. If you dare to move down an inch, I will chop off your claws. Murong Ying's words made Li Fan retract his hand resentfully. But, you can kiss me. Li Fan was dumbfounded. Fuck, did he hear wrongly? This old-fashioned girl actually wanted him to kiss her. Don't think too much. Murong Ying said expressionlessly, I only heard that you have a pure young body and wanted to personally verify it. Pure young body. What the hell? Could it be that such a beautiful young lady was crazy? Director, please conduct yourself, stop dilly-dallying. Murong Ying seemed to be a little anxious. She took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to directly force herself on Li Fan's mouth. Li Fan's mind went blank. The new director was too bold. This was his first kiss. He was at a great disadvantage this time. Although it was a light kiss, Li Fan suddenly felt something churning in his body. It was as if something was sucked out from Murong Ying's mouth. That thing was injected into his body. It was warm and made him feel unbearably swollen. Oh my god, this feeling is too shameful. However, Murong Ying did not feel good. She pushed Li Fan away. With a pale face, she turned and walked away. What the hell, Li Fan, come with me for a moment. Before Li Fan could reminisce about this unique feeling, Wang Chang had already dragged him into a small room on the side. Other than Wang Chang, there were two other strong sports students in the small room. They were both Wang Chang's lackeys. What are you doing? Li Fan was a little nervous when he saw this scene. I'm not interested in men, fuck, I'm not interested in you either. Wang Chang cursed loudly. Then, Li Chang pressed Wang Chang against the wall and said fiercely, alright, it was pretty good just now, wasn't it? What are you trying to do? Li Fan felt a little guilty after being glared at by a sports student who looked like a gorilla. What does it have to do with me if she doesn't like you? You don't like me. What a joke. Wang Chang said angrily, I'm more handsome than you, and I'm richer than you. Take a look at yourself. You're just a loser. Do you want to be a toad eating swan meat? Wang Chang, don't go too far. Li Fan was burning with anger, but Wang Chang sneered, so what if I'm going too far? Do you still dare to hit me? Li Fan did not say a word, but it was as if something was hatching in his body, causing the veins on his forehead to bulge. Wang Chang was even more arrogant as he shouted at Li Fan, idiot, coward, hit me, hit me, hit me. It was unknown what was driving Li Fan, but he suddenly raised his hand and slapped Wang Chang's face. Wang Chang's body immediately flew up and spun to the side. Two of his teeth flew out of the stage with fresh blood. Fuck, this is the first time I've heard someone make such a request. Li Fan muttered. Then, he looked at the unconscious Wang Chang and was stunned again. What was going on? Did he explode with such a powerful force in an instant? Did the legendary little universe explode? Li Fan shouted at a sports student, come on, how many times can there be in life? Burn the little universe, Pegasus Meteor Fist. However, nothing miraculous happened. The sports student roared and pounced over, pressing down on Li Fan's body. This body, which was close to 200 pounds, was lifted up by Li Fan's shoulders. He did not know where he got the strength from, but he spun around on the spot and threw the sports student out like a discus, smashing him into the wall beside him. Li Fan's chi and blood were boiling, and his body was constantly emitting heat. All the pores on his body seemed to have opened up at this moment, making him exceptionally excited. Although he did not know what had happened, he had become stronger. His gaze fell on another sports student, who immediately bent down while clutching his stomach. I have a stomachache. I won't fight with you anymore. Coward. Li Fan spat and shook Wang Chang awake. Wang Chang looked as if he had seen a ghost. Looking at Li Fan made him tremble, and his teeth were still hurting badly. If you dare to provoke me again, I'll beat you up again. Li Fan threw Wang Chang back to the ground. At the same time, he felt extremely good. What was going on? Did he become a Superman in a second? After attending school for so many years, this was the first time Li Fan was so happy. Even if there was no one to be his dance partner after the dance, he did not care. Until the end of the dance, Wang Chang did not dare to show his face again. Li Fan was happy to be quiet. He rode his bicycle, humming a song all the way home. Li Fan's family was not rich, and his parents' jobs were also very ordinary. His grades were very poor. In order to attend a private high school, his family had no choice but to sell their house. Now, they were living in the old house left behind by his grandfather. It was a brick house with leaky walls, left behind in the old city of a city. There were houses like this everywhere in the old city. There were many times that they were going to be demolished, but it seemed that because the demolition money had not been negotiated, the matter of demolition had been put on hold. Standing in front of his house, Li Fan was dumbfounded. Is this my home? Where is that small bungalow with leaky walls? Why did it become a 3-story bungalow? In front of the bungalow stood 2 rows of bodyguards in black suits. When they saw Li Fan, they all bowed and said loudly, "Welcome home, son-in-law." Li Fan almost fell off his bicycle. Is the end of the world coming? You guys made a mistake. I'm not your son-in-law, and where's my house? Li Fan wanted to cry. Attending a Christmas party, he lost his home. Son-in-law. There's no mistake, this is your home. A bald, one-eyed man walked over. The black suit on his body was about to burst from his muscles. He had a fierce look on his face. Quickly come in. From now on, I will be your butler. I promise to dress you well. With that, the bald man actually threw a coquettish glance at Li Fan, scaring Li Fan into having the urge to escape. Son-in-law, don't go. You can put the bicycle down first. This bald, one-eyed man grabbed Li Fan's bicycle with one hand. Li Fan couldn't pedal anymore. This guy is so strong. I've already boiled the bath water for you. Boil your sister. Monster. What are you shouting for? Don't let the neighbors see a joke. Just when Li Fan was about to collapse, the door was pushed open. Muronging, wearing a close-fitting home dress, stood there charmingly. She looked at Li Fan, her eyebrows slightly knitted together. You're not coming in. Do you want to sleep outside? Chapter 3. This is my home. Li Fan's brain was not enough to process it. You're already a grown-up. How can you not recognize your own home? What's in your head? Muronging crossed her arms and frowned. She looked at Li Fan, a beautiful woman in her late 20s, but she said in an old-fashioned manner, rotten wood cannot be carved. What re-education? My family is not like this. Li Fan's world was on the verge of collapsing. Also, why are you here? Is today April Fool's Day? Calm down. Muronging reprimanded. As a man, how can you be so flustered? Can I calm down? Li Fan's mental state was also not normal, attending a Christmas party and everything changed. What about my parents? What did you do to them? Oh, you're talking about father-in-law and mother-in-law. Murong Ying's address was very straightforward. The two of them received funding from Murong Financial Group and have already gone to travel around the world. What? There's a letter they left for you. Murong Ying handed a letter to Li Fan. He quickly tore it open and it was indeed his mother's notes. My dear son, our first stop is the Maldives. Take good care of our daughter-in-law and give birth to a big fat grandson for us as soon as possible. Give birth to a ghost. Li Fan tore the letter into shreds. Are they kidding me? Is this considered as selling me out? This is too much of a scam. What do you mean? Am I not worthy of you? Murong Ying seemed to have a murderous aura on her. This is not. But everything is a bit too sudden. It's the first day I met you. How did you become my fiancé? Li Fan laughed dryly. He wasn't a feudal person, but the amount of information was too much for him to accept. It's not the first day we met. Murong Ying said, don't you remember Cherry Blossom Cannon? Cherry Blossom Cannon. This name was very familiar. This was a girl he met in LOL. She specialized in small cannon. In the beginning, she was terrible at it. Later on, he taught her to be very good at it. Because he always played with her, he jokingly called her his wife for a while, and she didn't seem to refuse. Fuck. You're Sakura Cannon. What the hell? It's an online relationship, sister. Online dating is indeed unreliable. Murong Ying nodded. I didn't want to develop a relationship with you in the beginning. I just wanted to find someone to investigate and then kill a glib-tongued guy like you. What the fuck? Li Fan felt a chill down his spine. Did he just walk through the gates of hell? Speaking of which, this girl was too inflexible. Wouldn't it kill her to call him wife twice? But after the investigation, we found out that you were born in the Yang year, Yang month, Yang day, Yang hour. It is very likely that you have the legendary pure Yang constitution. After trying it out today, it was indeed so. Pure Yang constitution. What the hell? Murong Ying looked left and right. Let's talk inside, husband. The word husband almost made Li Fan's bones go soft, even though there was no emotion in her voice. What's going on? Did I pick up a wife for free? In a daze, he followed her into the house. The bald, one-eyed man also followed. When he closed the door, Li Fan was shocked. Why did you come in too? She's our housekeeper from now on. Murong Ying casually reminded him, don't be mean to girls. Girls? Fuck. How is this like a girl? Li Fan desperately rubbed his eyes. He suspected that he might have seen an illusion. Could it be that the way he opened his eyes was wrong? As for the bald, one-eyed man, no, the muscular girl, she lowered her head shyly. She rubbed the corner of her clothes and said, son-in-law. My name is Taiju. Pfft. Li Fan spat out a mouthful of blood. She has been with me for 19 years. She is one of the experts in our Murong family. Murong Ying waved her hand. The girl Taiju understood and went to the kitchen to make coffee for Murong Ying. This house was almost like a fashionable villa. It did not look like Li Fan's previous home at all. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Murong Ying. I am the 16th generation successor of Murong Villa. Murong Ying stood in front of Li Fan. The moonlight shone on her body, making her look like a beauty from a painting. I am also the current chief of Wulin. Chief of Wulin. Li Fan laughed dryly. Are you filming a TV series? Are you still doubting me? Murong Ying took the coffee from the girl Taiju. She took a sip with her delicate red lips and said slowly, didn't you rely on your pure yang body to absorb 10 years of internal energy from me today? What? Thinking of the kiss with Muronging today and the scene of him beating up Wang Chang, Li Fan could not help but raise his hands and stare at his palms. There was no difference. How was it written that he had a pure yang body? The pure yang body is so overbearing. It can absorb internal energy from a woman's mouth. Muronging looked at Li Fan enviously. Moreover, my cultivation speed is twice that of an ordinary person. This generation of my Murong villa is all girls. I need a man to carry on the family line. So, you have your eyes on my pure yang body. Li Fan seemed to understand. It seemed that this woman didn't fancy him as a person, but had some ulterior motives towards him. That's right. Muronging sat on the sofa opposite him. She lifted her left leg and gently pressed it on her right leg. She said lazily, "Otherwise, why do you think I would like an ordinary high school student like you?" Damn, these words were too hurtful. What was so bad about high school students? Every high school student was born to have unlimited potential. Since you are going to marry into Murong's family, you will have to take Murong's surname from now on. Wait. Li Fan could no longer sit still when he saw Muronging talking to herself. He jumped to his feet and said, "Why should I marry you? You should be the one marrying me. My surname is Li. Only a ghost would want to marry into the family." Father-in-law and mother-in-law also agreed to this matter. What? How is that possible? They did not agree at first. But after they received the 1 million check, they suddenly became righteous. What the hell are you talking about? Isn't this still selling me out? Li Fan almost exploded in anger. A man should not change his surname. Are you going to change it or not? Muronging also stood up. At the same time, she stretched out her right hand. A sword hanging on the wall seemed to be pulled by a force. It trembled twice. Then the sword was unsheathed and fell into Muronging's hand. I will ask you again. Are you going to change it or not? Muronging's murderous aura instantly surged. Li Fan's heart began to beat like a drum. But some things, that was the principle. If he changed his surname, then what dignity would he have left? It would be better to die. Not changing. Li Fan twisted his neck. If you have the guts, then kill me. Shwa. The cold sword edge was placed on Li Fan's neck. Muronging's voice sounded in Li Fan's ear. This is the last time. Are you going to change it or not? Chapter 4. With a sword on his neck, for the first time in his life, Li Fan felt like he was about to die. The books were right, beautiful girls should not be messed with. Didn't Confucius also say, only women and villains are difficult to raise? But if he had to give up his name, then what's the point of living? Li Fan has always been very careful in his life. Even when he saw someone stealing his wallet on the bus, he didn't dare to make a sound. But this time, he must live for his dignity. I won't change. As a man, if I say I won't change, then I won't change. Just kill me. 20 years later, he will be a good man again. At least you still have some backbone. Unexpectedly, not only did Muronging not kill him, she even put away her sword and threw it to Taiju. Muronging's man must have this bit of backbone. Okay, you passed the test. That means I don't need to change my surname. Li Fan's worry turned to joy, but he didn't expect Muronging to smile sweetly. I never said that, but I can't convince you now, so I'll think about it later. Right now, the problem is that you're too weak. You're too far from being my ideal husband. Can I first ask, what is your ideal husband like? Li Fan suddenly felt perturbed. First of all, he must be stronger than me, an indomitable master. Muronging said calmly, moreover, he has to be handsome, carefree, generous, and benevolent. His name must spread far and wide. And those are the simple requirements. You call this simple? Li Fan was about to collapse. You call this simple? Big sister, there's something wrong with your worldview, okay? I'm at most 2 years older than you. Muronging frowned and looked at Li Fan. Calling me big sister is not appropriate, call me wife. I don't want to, it's awkward. What era is this, calling her wife? Do you think you're by Susan? Li Fan felt very awkward and didn't want to shout. No, you're already my fiancé. You have to call me that. This time, it was Murong Ying's turn to insist. Damn, can I not be your fiancé? Break off the engagement. Murong Ying thought for a moment and said, it's not impossible, but my father-in-law and mother-in-law have accepted the betrothal gifts from the Murong family. If you want to break off the engagement, you have to return the betrothal gifts. Betrothal gifts? Are they marrying off their sons? Li Fan patted his chest. Isn't it just a betrothal gift? How much is it? I'll give it to you after I work. Not much. About 50 kilograms of gold in total. Wife, what do you want to eat tonight? I'll cook it for you right away. Li Fan asked enthusiastically. No need. Men should stay away from the kitchen. Murong Ying was inflexible in this aspect. Leave the cooking to Tai Zhu. Her culinary skills are pretty good. Other than her martial arts, she's also a national top chef. Eldest miss, if you praise me again, I'll blush. Tai Zhu lowered her head and acted like a spoiled child. Li Fan was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Oh my God, how could he stay in this family in the future? Son-in-law, what do you want to eat tonight? I don't want to eat anything. I want to sleep quickly. Li Fan was so dizzy that he just wanted to go to bed and sleep. When he woke up, everything would return to normal. How great would that be? Oh, by the way, your previous bed was too soft. It's not good for your muscles and bones. I helped you change to a new bed. When Li Fan returned to his room according to Tai Zhu's guidance, Murong Ying reminded him again. Thank you. Li Fan thought to himself, Murong Ying is still a little bit considerate, at least she knows how to be considerate. But when he opened the door, he saw a 2-finger-wide rope hanging in the room. He didn't feel good. Did I open the door the wrong way? Li Fan seriously questioned his life. This woman, does she think she's Xiaolongnu? Even if she's Xiaolongnu, I'm not. Li Fan originally wanted to protest. But when he thought of his family's sky-high betrothal gifts, he still endured it. Forget it, this is not my home anymore. People under the eaves have to bow their heads. Isn't it just sleeping on a rope? No matter what, I have absorbed internal force for 10 years. It shouldn't be difficult, right? Li Fan carefully sat on the rope. As a result, he fell from the other side of the rope. Fuck. Novels are full of lies. I'll sleep on the ground, okay. When Li Fan just lay on the ground, suddenly a burst of electric current hit his body. The electric current almost made his bones weak. He directly spat out a mouthful of black smoke. By the way, I connected a direct current to your floor. The electricity runs every 10 minutes and your slippers are insulated, but if you sleep on the ground. Murong Ying's voice came from outside the door. Devil. Definitely a devil. Li Fan was about to cry. How could he live like this? There was only a small table in the room. He couldn't lie on it at all. Li Fan had no choice but to continue to try to sleep on the rope. In the beginning, everything was not smooth. After falling dozens of times, Li Fan's face was swollen. But after slowly finding the trick, Li Fan found that when he took a breath from his dantian, his body would be much lighter. After continuous attempts, he finally succeeded in lying on the rope in the middle of the night. No matter what, he could finally sleep. But Li Fan was worried. In the future, will I really have to live with this Muronging? Since we are going to be husband and wife, why can't we sleep on the same bed? Just when Li Fan was filled with righteous indignation, Tai Zhu's voice came from outside the door. Son-in-law, if you can't get used to sleeping on the rope, you can squeeze with me. Anyway, I'm considered as a dowry maid. I'm already mentally prepared. No, no, no. Thank you for your kindness. I slept very well. Li Fan suddenly felt that the rope was extremely cute. After being scared by Tai Zhu, he didn't have the mood to think about other things. He slept soundly. Living with a beauty. Maybe it's not bad. But reality is always cruel. The sky had just turned white when Li Fan was kicked off the rope by Muronging. Heroine, what are you doing? Li Fan felt that his nerves were about to collapse. Muronging was standing in front of him. Her hair was a little wet and exuded a nice shampoo smell. This girl, did she just take a bath? Li Fan subconsciously glanced at her upper body. Not to mention, this fiancé of mine is quite busty. If you look around again, I'll dig out your eyes. Murong-ying's words made Li Fan completely awake. There are still 2 hours before class starts. You have an hour and a half to run to school. Let's go. Why did I run to school instead of taking the bus? Do I look like I'm sick? As my fiancé, you're still too weak. Muronging bluntly said, you must start training from today. As your wife, I naturally have this obligation. But as my wife, you have the obligation to sleep with me. Li Fan immediately caught the point, why don't you fulfill your obligation? I can fulfill it. He did not expect Muronging to agree to it. Do you want to try? Chapter 5. Is this an invitation? Li Fan felt the wolf nature in his body awaken. He couldn't help but lick his lips, of course I want to. If I don't want to, am I still a man? Sleeping in the same bed with such a beautiful woman. My God, isn't this something that can only happen in a dream? He didn't expect that marrying a fiancé would have some benefits. Dad, Mom, your son has wronged you. Actually, you have done a great deed. I will definitely lower my body and work hard to let you hold a big fat grandson as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Li Fan was already grinning from ear to ear. But Muronging continued, but I like to kill people in my dreams. My family has been worried about this for a long time. If you can beat me, you can climb into my bed. Damn, damn, damn. Li Fan almost cursed it out loud. You like to kill people in your dreams. Are you Chow Chow? Son-in-law, I can prove that what Big Miss said is true. Tai Zhu also woke up. This time, she didn't wear a suit but a pink nightgown. What the hell, this is the first time I see a nightgown that is about to burst. This Tai Zhu's pectoral muscles are about to pop out. A woman training such rock-hard muscles. This is simply a nightmare. Do you still want to sleep with me? Muronging asked. Li Fan repeatedly shook his head, I think it's better for me to go to school. Work hard, you will have this opportunity. Is Muronging encouraging me? Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When he passed by Tai Zhu comforted him. Son-in-law, Rinjia is not sleepwalking. Li Fan awkwardly fled. When he washed up and was ready to go out, Muronging also changed into a black suit and walked to Li Fan's side. You don't say, Muronging changed into a suit and a black skirt, it really does look like a uniform. An angel's face paired with a devil's figure. How many male students will not have the heart to study? Look at you, you didn't even button your shirt properly. Under Li Fan's dazed gaze, Muronging gently fixed his collar. Li Fan was moved to tears. He really didn't expect Muronging to have such a gentle side. By the way, these are the new shoes I made for you. Wear them to school. Thank you, my wife. You're so considerate. Li Fan excitedly reached out to take the shoes that Muronging handed over. Then, his hands sank and he almost sprained his waist. Fuck, this is a shoe. This is a shot put, right? They are indeed shoes, iron shoes. Each pair weighs only 10 kilograms. Muronging smiled gently. I had someone specially make it for you. It's size 41. It matches you perfectly. Are you happy? Happy my ass. Are you torturing me? Li Fan felt that his future was bleak. 10 kilograms. And that was all. Was this a joke? Of course not. This is for you to train. Be good and wear it. Only by experiencing the bitterness of bitterness can you become a superior person. Muronging's desire to see her husband become a dragon almost drove Li Fan crazy. Perhaps it's a bit difficult for you. If you really can't stand it, let's break off the engagement. A man should be self-reliant. It's time for me to train my body. Li Fan immediately put on this pair of iron shoes. He immediately felt that his feet were as heavy as a small mountain. It was very difficult for him to lift his feet. Idiot! Muronging rebuked as she looked at Li Fan. She suddenly leaned forward and once again kissed Li Fan's lips. Li Fan's dantian moved again, absorbing true qi from Muronging's mouth. But Muronging used the opportunity of her true qi being sucked away to drive the true qi in Li Fan's body to form a cycle. All of this happened in just a short moment. The two of them kissed and separated. Muronging's face was already somewhat pale. 1 year of my inner force was sucked away in one go. Sorry. I didn't know you were going to kiss me again. Li Fan somewhat missed the taste of that kiss. You still don't know how to use true qi. I just helped you guide it a bit. Muronging's face was a bit pale. If you dare to think too much, you're dead. Well, thank you. This time, Li Fan could clearly feel a stream of qi flowing along his meridians. The breath he took last night when he was sleeping on the rope became smoother. The iron shoes on his feet also didn't seem that heavy and became a lot lighter. Still not going to school? Are you waiting for me to send you? As a man, how can you be reluctant to part with the gentleness of your family? How can you become a martial arts master like this? Muronging's crescent eyebrows raised. Li Fan obediently went out. Not fighting for Mantu, fighting for pride. Isn't it just some martial arts master? Why can't I become one? Li Fan said goodbye to his fiancée and ran all the way to school with his iron shoes. In the past, he always rode a bike to school. This was the first time he ran, so it was really a fresh experience. The sky was just beginning to brighten. There were some people running by the roadside. There were also some old men and old women practicing Tai Chi. It was a peaceful scene. Li Fan looked at the young woman running in front of him. At the same time, he was sorting out the things that happened in the past 2 days. He didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, his life would have earth-shattering changes. He always felt like he was dreaming. That Muronging really became his fiancée. Then when he trained his martial arts and became stronger than her, would he be able to do some shameful things? Li Fan was pondering about these shameful things when he suddenly heard a girl's scream in front of him. Catch the hoodlum. Li Fan glanced over. In front of him was a bus stop. There was already a long line of people, some were going to work, and some were going to school. Li Fan saw a familiar figure, Lin Yuhsin. Isn't this the study commissary of the experimental class? The girl who always got first place in school. He once saw her at the flag-raising ceremony. She served as the flag raiser for several times. He didn't know much about her, but the only thing he remembered was that she was quite beautiful. At this time, Lin Yuhsin was wearing a blue and white school uniform. She was carrying an old school bag with 2 patches on it. She looked angry and shy as she angrily looked at the greasy-haired man wearing a leather jacket. The man was about 30 years old. He had a ruffian look on his face. He sniffed his right hand and said, "Little girl, you can't wrongly accuse a good person." "Who's the hooligan?" "You, it's you. You just touched me." Lin Yuhsin angrily pointed at him. The greasy-haired man smiled and asked, "Hey, then tell me, where did I touch you?" Lin Yuhsin blushed to her ears. How could she say it out loud? "Little girl, you can't wrongly accuse people even if you're young. I can sue you for slander." The greasy-haired man said with a mischievous smile, "Why don't you let me touch you and say that I'm a hooligan?" "You're a hooligan." Lin Yuhsin was so angry that she was about to cry. "Who saw it? Who saw it?" the greasy-haired man shouted. There was a group of onlookers around, but no one dared to step forward to speak. Li Fan was a little angry. His classmate was being bullied. How could he not help her? He roared when he saw injustice. When it was time to make a move, he would make a move. He immediately took 2 steps forward and shouted, "I saw it." Chapter 6. Lin Yuhsin turned his head and saw a boy wearing the same school uniform coming over to help. He was a bit surprised. "Who is this boy? I don't have any impression of him." But now that someone is willing to help me, Lin Yuhsin's heart felt warm. She thought that people's hearts are cold, but she didn't expect there to be a kind-hearted person. "Little bastard, you want to meddle in other people's business." The rascal fiercely glared at Li Fan. That ferocious look really has the aura of a gangster. If it was in the past, Li Fan's heart would be beating like a drum. But now it's different. With his internal force, Li Fan has some confidence. "What's wrong? You're acting like a hooligan, and you don't want me to stop you," Li Fan argued. Lin Yuhsin is also a good student in school. She won't accuse a hooligan for no reason. "Fine, I want to see which eye of yours saw it." This hooligan's threat was very obvious. Li Fan didn't say anything and silently picked up a brick from the ground. "Oh. You still want to hit me?" The hooligan laughed. "You think I'm scared? Come, hit me like this, hit me like this. If I don't hit you, then I'm a grandson." His head kept moving in front of Li Fan. This kind of hooligan is full of trouble. Sometimes even the police can't do anything to him. Li Fan frowned. "Why would I hit you? I just want you to apologize to my classmate." "Little bastard, you're thinking too much." The hooligan's mouth was crooked from laughing. "You don't even know who your grandfather is. In this area, who doesn't know me, Ma San? Everyone in the underworld calls me San Yi. Don't say that I didn't touch it. Even if I did, so what? You still dare to ask your San Yi to apologize? Why don't you take a look at yourself? 2 stupid students, are you asking for a beating?" Hearing this, Li Fan grabbed the brick with one hand and fiercely chopped down with the other. Gotcha! The brick shattered into pieces. Lin Yuhsin was a little surprised, and Ma San swallowed a mouthful of saliva. The people who were waiting for the bus to watch the show were also discussing. "Yo, this student has martial arts. It's fake, right?" Ma San coughed twice and said, "I'm not feeling well today." I don't want to talk to you two little bastards. You're lucky. As he spoke, he turned around to leave, but Li Fan grabbed his arm. Don't go. You haven't apologized yet. I told you to apologize. Ma San was depressed. Even a student dared to defecate on my head. If I don't show my prowess today, you won't know how many eyes Prince Ma has. Ma San looked fierce and was about to show off his power, but Li Fan suddenly tightened his grip on his arm. Just like a pig being slaughtered, Ma San let out a miserable howl. For a moment, Ma San felt that this arm did not belong to him. Apologize now. Li Fan's voice had a hint of irresistible tone. Ma San was a smart man, and he immediately cried and begged, Sir, I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. Don't apologize to me, apologize to her. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Madam, please forgive me. I was confused for a moment, and I won't dare to do it again. I'm not that old, Lin Yuhsin murmured, and then Li Fan let Ma San go. At this time, Ma San's arm had swollen to the size of his leg. He didn't dare to say a word, but turned around and ran away. Well, he won't dare to be a hooligan in the future. Li Fan turned to Lin Yuhsin and said, You can rest assured. Humph. Unexpectedly, Lin Yuhsin not only did not appreciate it, but also snorted and turned her head away. What's wrong with this girl? Is her period irregular? I did a good deed, but not only did she not thank me, but she also gave me the cold shoulder. What kind of logic is this? Little girl, are you on your period today? Are you in a bad mood? Li Fan's words were filled with sarcasm. He was displeased to receive the cold shoulder. You're the one on your period. Lin Yuhsin blushed and scolded, This student, although I don't know which class you are from, you'd better stop your poor acting skills. Acting skills? What did I do? Li Fan was a little confused. Breaking bricks with bare hands, this trick is not new. Lin Yuhsin said very rudely, In the future, pick up girls in a new way, and maybe I'll look at you with new eyes. What did you say? Li Fan was so angry that he almost laughed. This girl is too self-righteous. I helped her, and now I'm dressed like a slut. Anyway, stay away from me. I'll pretend that I didn't see anything today, and I won't report you to the teacher. The car is here, and I won't see you again. After saying these 3 words to Li Fan, she strode with her pair of long legs, turned around, and got on the car. Fuck. What kind of person is this? Li Fan was depressed. I really can't be a good person. This girl was also too much. She was scared to death when she saw the rascal, and then she came for me. Isn't this the rat carrying the gun, and the nest is tyrannical? Speaking of which, the 2 of them are not from the same nest. Forget it, I'll just take it that I'm unlucky today. Li Fan resentfully continued to run to school. At a steamed bun stall, a young man wearing a blue coat finished his bowl of porridge in one gulp. He looked in the direction that Li Fan left, and spoke to himself in Hunan dialect. That's right, it's him, the president's little lover. He didn't run. He was filled with anger, and he slammed his palm on the small table. I'm an expert from the Thunderbolt sect. You snatched my goddess, I'll let you have a taste of my Thunderbolt palm. His slap split the small dining table into 2 halves. He was about to chase after Li Fan, but was pulled back by the boss. You brat, you broke my table and still want to run. I'm the young master of the Thunderbolt sect. I have money, and I'll compensate you. Saying this, the blue coat touched his pocket, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Not good, my wallet was stolen. Who are you trying to fool? You want to eat and dash, and even broke my table. Don't even think of leaving today. No way, I still have to chase after the bad guy. I think you're the bad guy. Let's go to the police station to reason things out. The blue coat was dragged away without any explanation, and Li Fan didn't know that he was being watched by others. He originally thought that he could hide in the class for some peace and quiet, but reality proved that he was still too young. The history teacher was an old lady, and she was talking about Empress Dowager Cixix's foreign policy, lulling people to sleep. Usually, the students would be hypnotized, but today, all of them seemed to be very passionate about learning. After all, Muronging was sitting at the last row of the class, listening in. The class atmosphere had never been so lively before, and halfway through the lesson, Muronging suddenly raised her hand. Teacher Yang, I'll interrupt for a moment. I have a question. Please ask. I'm not asking you, I'm asking the student. Muronging said as she pointed at Li Fan, who was lying on the table drowsily. Li Fan, come and answer a question about modern history. Muronging suddenly called out Li Fan, but Li Fan was immensely pleased. His history was the best in the class, and even if he didn't listen in class, it wouldn't be a problem. She wanted to embarrass him in front of the whole class. Humph, impossible. Make your move. I'll receive it. The old lady was still muttering in her heart, this new school director is really a new official who makes 3 changes. Is she going to personally oversee the teaching? Answer me, what's the birthday of the girlfriend of the foreigner who gave Empress Dowager Cixix's car? Li Fan was dumbfounded. You don't even know these basic historical knowledge, how do you usually study? Muronging was still putting on a pair of gold-rimmed glasses on her exquisite nose bridge. She pushed the glasses and reprimanded, you must correct your learning attitude. From today onwards, you are not allowed to sit in class. Then do I have to stand in class? Li Fan was about to collapse. Wasn't she deliberately looking for trouble? Who would want to learn this kind of knowledge? Was it a joke? The surrounding students looked at Li Fan with schadenfreude, especially the boys. They all said in their hearts, serves you right. Who asked you to dance with the beautiful director yesterday? You deserve to be punished today. You are a cute student, how can I bear to let you stand in class? Muronging smiled sweetly, and all the boys were stunned. Li Fan's heart was also beating faster. If others knew that she was his fiancée, he probably wouldn't live to see school. Then I don't have to stand as punishment. Li Fan was a little glad that this woman wasn't so heartless. She still felt sorry for him. And, from now on, you will do horse dance in class. Fuck. Chapter 7. Wang Chang. Can you take me to eat Haagen-Dazs? After school, Wang Xiaoyuan pulled Wang Chang's arm and begged him. I think you look like Haagen-Dazs. Wang Chang pushed Wang Xiaoyuan away. Wang Xiaoyuan looked at Wang Chang's Porsche 911 that was parked at the side and pouted, but I want to sit in your Porsche. Go and play. I stole it from my house. Wang Chang now despised Wang Xiaoyuan. Compared to Muronging, Wang Xiaoyuan was trash. He was really blind back then, how could he fall for her? After school, I will park the car in front of her, hee. I don't believe that she won't be tempted. How many women could resist the temptation of a sports car? Wang Chang already had victory in his hands. With money, was there a girl that he couldn't handle? This Wang Xiaoyuan used to be someone else's girlfriend, but she was still taken by him with a 6S. Women always pretend to be virtuous, but once they see money, they can't close their legs. Wang Chang waited at the school gate for a long time, but Muronging didn't come. Instead, he waited for Li Fan to come. Seeing Li Fan, Wang Chang's calves subconsciously trembled. Fuck. What's there to be afraid of? Even if this brat can fight, he's still a poor bastard. Li Fan, do you want me to give you a ride home? Thinking of this, Wang Chang's courage rose again and he greeted Li Fan. No need, my mother asked me to run home. He almost blurted out the word wife. Fortunately, Li Fan changed his words in time. Otherwise, something big would have happened. However, Muronging took advantage of him and grew up for no reason. All you can do is run home. Wang Chang sneered, this is a Porsche. Li Fan, you better think it through. You might only sit in this car once in your life. Li Fan was too lazy to care about him. What was he showing off for? Would he die if he didn't flaunt his wealth? It's not too late for you to back out now. I can be merciful and take you on one. However, the front passenger seat is reserved for Miss Murong. You can lie in the trunk. Wang Chang, have you had enough? Can a person lie in your trunk? Li Fan said uncomfortably, also, don't look down on me. I'll drive a sports car one day, and you'll have to beg for food one day. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Dream on. Li Fan, your pocket is clean, but you have a lot of ideas. You're pretty good at fantasizing. Why do you write novels? Get lost, a good dog doesn't block the way. Li Fan felt that it was too much to say to someone like Wang Chang. When he glared at him, Wang Chang's heart trembled a little. Forget it, a wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. I won't stoop to the level of a poor and unruly commoner. Wang Chang was about to step aside when a loud shout with a Hunan accent came from the school gate. Brat, stop right there. Li Fan turned his head and saw a young man in a blue coat standing in front of him. This man looked ordinary, but his hands were full of calluses and were much thicker than a normal person's hands. Fuck, this pair of iron palms was trained from rubbing a few times a day. Sparks would fly out of the pipe. You're calling me? Li Fan pointed at his nose. That's right, it's you. I've finally found you. The blue coat had a stomach full of grievances. Although he finally reconciled with the shop owner, he had to wash the dishes for the entire day. His hands were soaked. It's all because of you, you bastard. Today, I'll break your legs. With that said, he roared and pounced towards Li Fan. He had the aura of a hungry tiger pouncing on its prey. Without knowing why, Li Fan felt his scalp go numb. He subconsciously wanted to dodge. When he turned around and saw the Porsche beside him, he suddenly rolled on the ground and hid behind the Porsche. Bang! The blue coat's palm landed on the Porsche's door and immediately left a palm print on the door. My Porsche! Wang Chang almost cried. What kind of people are these? Dodge. Where can you hide? The blue coat wanted to teach Li Fan a lesson. He chased after Li Fan and used his thunderbolt palm to greet Li Fan. With the help of the Porsche, Li Fan continuously dodged, causing the blue coat's palm to land on the car. Not long later, the beautiful Porsche was covered in palm prints. It was almost impossible to tell that it was a car. Wang Chang really cried. Who did my car offend? Can the two of you fight here? However, Li Fan didn't care about Wang Chang's car, but the blue coat was anxious. Bastard, I want to see where you can hide. With that said, the blue coat raised his left hand and slapped the Porsche. 9-stage rushing thunder. This small sports car was actually slapped by the blue coat's palm. It slid sideways and left 4 black tire marks on the ground. Wang Chang almost fainted. Fuck, is this real or fake? Li Fan was taken aback. How strong was his internal energy? Stinking brat, I have already trained my family's rushing thunder palm to the 5th stage. Beating you is a piece of cake. The blue coat was somewhat proud. Li Fan really had a headache. Although he had 11 years of internal force, he didn't know any martial arts. Against this blue coat who had trained for God knows how many years, he was at a disadvantage. I didn't provoke you. Why are you looking for trouble with me? Li Fan tried to think of a way while talking to stall for time. You snatched my love. You snatched my goddess. The blue coat angrily said, Murong should be my wife. I painstakingly trained my rushing thunder palm just to marry her. Fuck, brother, I'm telling you, this really isn't my fault. Li Fan explained, feeling wronged, she threw herself at me. You're still angry at me. I'm going to kill you. The blue coat scientist was flustered and exasperated. His feet suddenly executed the 8 steps overtaking Cicada. His entire body brought along a gust of wind as he instantly jumped in front of Li Fan. His palm slapped towards Li Fan's head. Don't be afraid. Meet his palm. Murong Ying's voice suddenly entered Li Fan's ears. It seemed to be faintly discernible, but each and every word was clear. Without hesitation, Li Fan stepped into a horse stance and gathered his chi in his dantian. He immediately sent out a palm and collided with the blue coat's thunderous palm. Paw! It was as if a gust of wind rose from the ground, blowing the surrounding gravel away. Li Fan felt a huge force coming from his opponent's palm, but at the same time, it was as if something in his dantian was hooked and automatically exploded, transferring the force to his palm. The blue coat laughed, ha, what an idiot, to actually meet my palm. My thunderous palm is unparalleled in the world. Bang! It was as if firecrackers had exploded on their palms, causing Li Fan to take a step back. As for the blue coat's body, he flew out and fell on his face pathetically. This kind of feeling was too fierce. Li Fan looked at his palm in disbelief. Was this internal energy? This feeling was much stronger than when he was chopping a brick. Good lad, the blue coat struggled to get up and spat out a mouthful of blood along with a tooth, so your internal energy is so strong. I thought you didn't know martial arts. City people are really too treacherous. Fuck, you've killed too many people with one strike. You were the one who hit me. Li Fan felt wronged. I've suffered a loss. Wait for me to go back and recover from my internal injuries, then I'll come and settle this with you. The man in the blue coat threw down these harsh words and limped away. Don't come again. I really don't welcome you. Li Fan shouted at his back. Unknowingly, Murong had walked to his side with a fragrant wind. As my man, how can you say such unambitious words? Chapter 8. Just because you're a man, I have to provoke you. Li Fan was displeased that someone came looking for trouble. Who did I offend? That's too harsh. Don't forget, I'm the leader of the martial arts world. There are many people who challenge me. Murong said with some pride, plus, there are many pursuers. Now that you're my husband, you naturally have to share this pressure. This is not fair. I'm at a disadvantage. Then you can consider breaking off the engagement. Being at a disadvantage is a blessing. I still need more training to grow. Li Fan said with a firm gaze. That's more like my husband. Murong nodded, then you continue to run home tonight. Li Fan was about to collapse. His calves had been standing in the horse stance for the whole day. He could only rest after class. Not only his calves were sore, even his crotch hurt. Although this woman kept calling him husband, she actually had no feelings for him at all. He was too bullied at home. The ancients often said that a single coin could crush a hero, not to mention 100 gene of gold. No, he must regain his authority as a husband. He must let Murong know who was the master of the family. A man must do what he said. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and run. Yes. Li Fan was ready to open the way, but a Mercedes-Benz suddenly rushed in front of him, almost hitting Li Fan. Fuck, how did he drive? Was he blind? The car door opened and Wang Chang jumped out. This guy, when did he change his car? His family had quite a lot of luxury cars. This Mercedes-Benz must be worth at least 1 million, right? Miss Murong. Let me send you home. Wang Chang's father's company was opposite the school, so he couldn't take out his 911. When he saw Muronging coming out, he quickly drove his father's Mercedes-Benz over. No need. Muronging flatly refused. Miss Murong, please give me a chance. At this time, Wang Chang had forgotten about his girlfriends. In his eyes, there was only Muronging. This exquisite beauty was beautiful and had a good figure. Especially that pair of long legs, it made people drool just by looking at it. Just this leg alone was enough for him to play with for a year. Sorry, I already have a fiancé. Murong Ying's words almost made Wang Chang collapse. Who is he? Husband, why aren't you home yet? Murong Ying did not answer Wang Chang, but called out to Li Fan. Li Fan's scalp went numb. This woman, she is a demoness. Li Fan. How is this possible? Wang Chang's worldview trembled. How am I worse than him? Miss Murong, you're lying to me, right? Muronging gently tilted her head and sized up the two of them. She said thoughtfully, speaking of which. You are indeed more handsome than him and richer than him. That's right, that's right. Wang Chang nodded repeatedly. Li Fan's heart was depressed and a little sour. What, could it be that he was jealous? It must be an illusion. However, I just like him, there's no reason. Also, call me Dong. Muronging deliberately said this. Wang Chang wished that he could eat Li Fan's flesh and drink Li Fan's blood. What ability did this brat have to actually make such a beauty take the initiative to throw herself into his arms? Miss Murong, with your noble identity, you should be driving a Benz to and from work every day. Wang Chang did not want to give up and continued to make his last effort. Benz. Muronging laughed, it doesn't match with my level. Match. You are completely worthy of a Benz. Just as Wang Chang finished speaking, a dark brown Bentley stopped at the school gate. Tai Zhu squeezed out from the driver's seat, bowed and said to Muronging. Eldest miss, I'm here to take you home. Husband, you can run back by yourself. I'll wait for you at home. Under Wang Chang's dumbfounded gaze, Muronging got into the Bentley and sped away. Li Fan cursed. Fuck, you took the car and ran away, leaving me behind to eat the dust. This is too much. He adjusted his mood, looked at the tearful Wang Chang, patted him on the shoulder and comforted him. It's alright, Benz is also pretty good. If you work hard, you can also drive a Bentley. With that, he ran home with heavy footsteps, leaving Wang Chang to wash his face with tears. After all, the other party drove a Bentley, and this Benz really didn't match. Li Fan didn't care how much pain Wang Chang was in. He wasn't any better right now. Having a fiancé like Muronging was indeed a lot of face, but there was no practical meaning at all. He couldn't kiss or touch her, and he still had to undergo this kind of devilish training every day. Who could stand it? When Li Fan ran home, the sky was already dark. The 2 rows of black-suited bodyguards were still standing upright at the door. When they saw Li Fan, they bowed to welcome him. Welcome home, son-in-law. No need to be so polite. Looking at the strange gazes of the surrounding neighbors, Li Fan knew that his beautiful neighborhood life was definitely over. Auntie Wang next door probably wouldn't send him dumplings every few days, and the developing junior high school girl opposite him wouldn't ask him history questions. Woo woo woo, my beautiful daily life, where did you go? It's half an hour slower than this morning. Muronging sat at the dining table, looked at her watch, and said, My legs are sore, okay? I stood in the horse stands for a whole day. Li Fan was full of bitterness. This is nothing. You still have a lot to learn. Muronging sat there, and Taizhu tied the napkin for her. Sure enough, she was a rich missy, relying on others to serve her. Taizhu also wanted to help Li Fan, but was rejected by Li Fan righteously. Eat first. It's also very important to replenish your physical strength. After all, you have more training in the evening. Ah. Li Fan was scared. Could he still live like this? Although there were only 2 people eating, the dining table was more than 3 meters long. The 2 of them sat on one side, and Taizhu began to serve the dishes. This big table had both Chinese and Western dishes, but Muronging only ate a little of each, maintaining the demeanor of a rich missy. Li Fan did not stand on ceremony. His stomach was already rumbling with hunger, and he began to implement the CD policy. After practicing martial arts, his appetite was also a lot bigger. Slowly, Li Fan ate most of the dishes on the table. Who is the one who challenged me today? When Li Fan was sweeping away the food, he suddenly remembered the blue coat and could not help but ask. Don't talk when eating, don't talk when sleeping. Muronging did not raise her head and lightly said. Damn, there are so many rules. Li Fan rolled his eyes and continued to eat. Finally, after eating and drinking to their heart's content, Muronging cleaned her hands and slowly said. He is called Liao Bing, the young master of Hunan's Thunderbolt sect. Although his Thunderbolt palm is somewhat proficient, his internal force is still shallow, nothing to be afraid of. His palm can send a car flying, and it's still shallow. Li Fan could not help but be speechless. Then how deep is his internal force? That is relying on his Thunderbolt palm technique. Pushing mountains and moving stones is nothing to be surprised about. Muronging clapped her hands. Taizhu untied his pink apron and stood at the side, seemingly wanting to demonstrate. Today, I will give you a lesson and let you know what a martial artist is. Chapter 9. A door to a new world is slowly opening for Li Fan. Martial artist. This term is rare, aren't they all called wuxia? Ouch. Li Fan could not help but interrupt. However, a small marble suddenly hit his head, causing him to scream in pain. There is a big bump on his head, and this marble is actually made of pure gold. It is worth a lot. Don't you have manners to interrupt others? Muronging retracts her slender jade hand. Although my hidden weapon technique is ordinary, it is enough to punish you. Miss is indeed different. This hidden weapon is too wasteful. Li Fan looks at this golden hidden weapon and bites it hard, forgetting about the pain. Moreover, not everyone can be called a hero. A great hero is for the country and the people. A small hero is a friend and a neighbor. Muronging reminds Li Fan, don't talk nonsense in the future, it will make others laugh at you. Yes, I know. You can continue. Taizhu, circulate your inner force. Muronging orders. Taizhu takes a horse stance and squats there. His clothes flutter without any wind, as if there is a stream of air coming from his body. This is the true qi in the body. Now it is being circulated and flowing outside the body. Muronging explains, you can go forward and touch it. Men and women should not touch each other. Li Fan flatly refuses. For a martial artist, inner force and external force must complement each other. Muroning continues to explain to Li Fan. Her voice is actually quite pleasant to listen to. Moreover, listening to it is more interesting than listening to a lecture. Li Fan secretly mutters. The Liao Bing you met today, his family practices Thunderbolt Palm, which is an external force technique. Muroning didn't know what Li Fan was thinking. She explained the kung fu to him. As far as I know, the Thunderbolt Palm has a total of 7 levels. Once you reach the 5th level, you will be able to break gold and break jade. Yes, yes, yes. That blue-coat scientist has reached the 5th level. Muroning rewarded Li Fan with another golden marble. Li Fan's head had another big bump, and he grimaced in pain. Motherfucker, this is too much. I don't believe I can't catch this hidden weapon next time. But his internal energy is shallow. Although he has cultivated for more than 10 years, it is not directly proportional to my internal energy. Muroning pointed at Taizhu and said, Taizhu has cultivated for 10 years. Her level is at the Acme refinement. I've embarrassed myself in front of First Miss and Young Master. Taizhu seemed to be very embarrassed. Li Fan said, Can you not be so shy? You have no feminine charm at all. There are a total of 6 levels of internal energy. Those who have just started cultivating are at the beginner level. After cultivating for a few years, they will enter the integrated mastery level. After cultivating for 10 years, those with slightly better talent can be like Taizhu and enter the Acme refinement level. As for those with excellent talent, like me, 10 years is the Acme refinement level. If you want to go further, you will need more time and talent. Those are all true experts, known as the Acme refinement level. As for me, I have started cultivating internal energy since I was 4 years old. I have cultivated for a total of 16 years, and I have also taken all kinds of pills. I have long reached the Acme refinement level. She paused for a moment and then said, But yesterday, you absorbed 11 years of internal energy. Now it has returned to the Acme refinement level. I will need around a year to recover to my previous level. What about me? Although Li Fan was a little embarrassed, he didn't take the initiative to kiss Muroning, so he simply let go. Although you absorbed 11 years of my internal energy, you don't know how to use it. Most of it was wasted. Right now, you are only at the Acme refinement level. If you cultivate properly, you should be able to barely enter the Acme refinement level. So I am this strong, ha ha ha. Li Fan was overjoyed, but Muroning poured a bucket of cold water on him, but your external energy is pitiful. I have said it before, a martial artist cultivates both internal and external energy, complementing each other. Next time you meet Liao Bing, he can use speed to beat you, and he can use external energy to beat you. Li Fan was a little embarrassed. You can't blame me, I used to be an ordinary student, and I have only seen martial arts in TV series. It's okay, fortunately, you have a good foundation. It is not too late to learn now. Muroning comforted him, As long as you let me teach you, I guarantee that I will train you into a master of the generation. The word train is too strange. Question. Li Fan raised his hand. You just said that internal energy is divided into 6 levels, then what about the Acme refinement level and above? Then it would be the Grand Master of the generation. They are all hidden masters. If they make a move, I can't be the leader of the martial arts world. Muroning's eyes were actually a little envious, but it disappeared in a flash, and then became cold again. Right now, I want you to practice an external energy. Otherwise, the next time you meet my pursuers or challengers, I am afraid you will die miserably. It doesn't matter if you die, but I don't want to be a widow. Wait. Li Fan thought of something. I have already accepted your pursuers. Why do you want me to fight your challengers? You have sucked my internal energy, now my strength has regressed, how can I deal with those masters? Muronging smiled sweetly, and Li Fan almost became restless. Moreover, as my husband, you naturally have to block those dangers for me. Damn, so you came to my place for vacation. She really is a female devil. If you can't beat them, how can I beat them? Li Fan hurriedly interrupted again, this time Muronging no longer tolerated him, and suddenly threw out a golden ball. But this time Li Fan was already prepared, his eyes suddenly flashed a ray of light, and he sensed the direction of the golden ball, that part of his scalp first became numb. Following this feeling, he almost subconsciously reached out his hand, and unexpectedly caught the golden ball in his hand. Muronging exclaimed, although she only used 30% of her power, but Li Fan, a beginner, was able to catch her hidden weapon, it was really surprising. It seemed that she had somewhat underestimated this high school student. And Li Fan's proud look made Muronging roll her eyes. Aren't you very powerful? In the future you will take care of all the challengers. Li Fan had shot himself in the foot, it was too late to cry. Big miss, don't blame the son-in-law, let him choose a martial art to practice. With Tai Zhu by the side saying good words, Murong-ying's anger was slightly appeased. Humph, next time you try to show off, I will let you know my power. Yes, 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 my dear wife is mighty and domineering. My Murong family's strongest martial art is the sword, second is the saber, and the weakest is the fist. Muronging asked, among the external martial arts, the sword is the most powerful, the saber is the most evil, and the fist is the most overbearing. Which one do you want to learn? Son-in-law, I think it would be good for you to learn a saber. Tai Zhu flattered, moreover, I am also good at saber, I can accompany the son-in-law to practice together. Forget it. Li Fan thought of the appearance of practicing with Tai Zhu, and his hair stood on end. He was always practicing with his junior sister, and they were in love, how could he have such a thing? Even if he was beaten to death, he would not do it. Tai Zhu's saber is indeed very powerful, are you despising her? Muronging raised her eyebrows, and Li Fan hurriedly said, what are you saying? It's just that saber is not practical in modern society. I can't carry a machete on the streets every day, right? That's reasonable. Muronging lowered her head and pondered, then what kind of martial art should I let you learn? Chapter 10. I think it's better for me to learn martial arts. Li Fan's eyes suddenly lit up, are there any 18 dragon subduing palms or Buddha's palm? If he were to learn such a peerless martial art, wouldn't he be very powerful? At that time, he wouldn't easily make a move, but once he makes a move, wouldn't the young ladies be infatuated with his heroic demeanor? Unexpectedly, Muronging rolled her eyes, but a beauty rolling her eyes was also quite nice. What are you thinking about? In reality, there are indeed these two martial arts, but they are lost, and I don't know them. Fuck, what a pity. Li Fan cried out in regret, but Muronging pulled him back to reality, I only know some simple martial arts. If you want to learn, I can teach you. What's the point of learning simple martial arts? If you want to learn, you have to learn peerless martial arts. Li Fan was not very willing, and Muronging rolled her eyes at him again. When learning martial arts, remember not to bite off more than you can chew. So what if it's simple martial arts, even if it's only one move, if you practice it well, you can also become a great master. Really? Li Fan was a little skeptical. Tai Zhu, show him. Muronging clapped her hands, and Tai Zhu nodded, turned around, and took out a frozen chicken and a kitchen knife from the kitchen. She threw the frozen chicken into the air, and then waved the kitchen knife in her hand, creating a beautiful knife dance, dazzling Li Fan. When the frozen chicken fell on the table, the bones were separated, and the meat was separated. It was divided into two parts. The most surprising thing was that the chicken bones were very intact, without any defect. Such a beautiful knife technique. Li Fan couldn't help but clap his hands in amazement, while Taizhu embarrassedly lowered her head and fiddled with the corner of her clothes. Li Fan panicked. Fuck, why are you so shy? Taizhu's family used to be butchers, specializing in slaughtering chickens and pigs. Murong Ying's explanation surprised Li Fan even more. They mastered the knife technique of slaughtering chickens and pigs, and it became the butcher knife technique. Not to mention this chicken, even if you stood in front of Taizhu, she would be able to cut your bones and flesh in a few slashes. Impressive indeed. Li Fan had really broadened his horizons today. Then which external martial art did I learn? 5 animals frolics. What? Li Fan was dumbfounded. Isn't that the radio calisthenics invented by Hua Tuo? Did I waste my words just now? Are you going to learn it or not? Learn. At the very least, he should be able to protect himself. What else could Li Fan say? It was fine as long as he did not wield his sword. He carried his sword on the streets every day. Before his enemies came for revenge, he would have been arrested by the police. Taizhu, tidy up. I will teach him the 5 animals frolics. Husband, come upstairs with me. Thank you, Missy. Taizhu said goodbye to them, and the two went upstairs. A spacious martial arts field was built on the 3rd floor, but Li Fan was not in the mood to practice. His mind was a little confused. Finally, he was going to be alone with Murong Ying. Li Fan suddenly felt a little nervous. It was the first time he was alone with such a beautiful woman, and he was a little nervous. Li Fan, work hard. She is just a woman. What are you afraid of? She is your wife, not a tiger. Seeing Li Fan's nervous look, Murong Ying suddenly burst into laughter. Aren't you always so glib-tongued on the internet? You even call me your wife. Why are you scared now, Mr. Husband? Wasn't that a joke? Li Fan blushed. Who would have thought that a master of martial arts would emerge from playing LOL? Speaking of which, why are you playing LOL instead of being the master of martial arts? What's wrong with that? Can't I have a hobby? Murong Ying said matter-of-factly. Which rule says that a martial arts chief can't play LOL? Well, there isn't. Li Fan was speechless. This Murong Ying was good at martial arts, and she was quite eloquent. Wouldn't he be suppressed in all aspects? That won't do. Yes, just treat her as that clumsy little pal. Oh yes, who said I was scared? I am treating each other as a guest. Li Fan changed his train of thought. He felt his nervous mood relax a lot, and his mouth became nimble. Oh, is that so? Murong Ying raised her eyebrows and smiled. Then who was the one who said he wanted to climb into my bed yesterday? That's what I should do. Li Fan was usually glib on the internet, but now he began to fully display his ability to be talkative. As a husband, how can I leave my wife alone on the cold bed? Isn't that making my wife a widow? Besides, you're a girl. What if you're scared and want to hug someone when it's dark? I'm also sacrificing myself for the happiness of millions of families. Humph. Murong Ying rolled her eyes. She just called him fat and he started to pout. He even sacrificed himself for the happiness of millions of families. Where did the millions of families come from? Wasn't it just my family? Annoying, what nonsense are you thinking? Don't let your imagination run wild. You're training now. You need to correct your attitude. Murong Ying angrily reprimanded Li Fan. I'm not imagining things, Teacher Murong. Li Fan cried out in grievance, my thoughts are very positive and correct. What do you mean by letting one's imagination run wild? None of your business. Murong Ying's face seemed to be a little red as she turned her head away. We're an old married couple. Say it out and share it. Screw you. Who's an old married couple with you? If you don't train properly, are you asking for a beating? Murong Ying raised her hand, but there was no killing intent. Fine, fine, fine. My wife is mighty and domineering. I'll train properly and not think about those things that you're thinking about. Is that okay? That's more like it. Who's thinking about it? I'm not thinking about anything. Stop spouting nonsense. Be careful or I'll tear your mouth. Murong Ying couldn't hold it anymore. Li Fan became serious. My wife, stop messing around. Train properly. Humph. Murong Ying slapped the wall, leaving a palm print. Li Fan swallowed his saliva. You learn properly. I'll teach you just once. Murong Ying tried hard to calm her breathing and said, 5 animal frolics look simple, but it's broad and profound. It's divided into tiger, crane, ape, deer, and bear. I'm only good at the crane fist. Watch carefully. As she spoke, her hands suddenly separated. Like a pair of wings of a white crane, she danced lightly. Murong Ying was very beautiful. Her figure was also very good. At this moment, she was like a beautiful crane. Seeing this, Li Fan's heart beat faster. In this world, there's really such a beauty. Needless to say, when she wasn't torturing him, she really looked like a fairy. The crane fist focuses on the wings, the beak, and the dance. Murong Ying demonstrated the moves gracefully while mumbling to herself, watch my movements. There are only 5 stages to the 5 animal frolics. If you master one of them and complement it with your inner force, you'll be able to defeat Liao Bing. After demonstrating the crane fist, Murong Ying took a deep breath and turned to look at Li Fan. Do you understand? I understand, Li Fan nodded. What do you understand? This crane is so beautiful, my husband, choose how you want to die. Chapter 11. Because of what he said, Li Fan was punished to practice until dawn. Although his body was a little tired, Li Fan was happy in his heart. At the very least, he had won against Murong Ying in this round. A long-awaited victory. Even if she was not proficient in other fish techniques, Murong Ying still demonstrated each one for Li Fan. Li Fan was pleasing to the eye, and the night was very comfortable. It was good to have a wife. At least she could satisfy his needs visually. If he could satisfy his needs in other areas, that would be even better. This 5 animal frolics looked simple, but it was indeed profound. For the next month, Li Fan lived this kind of life almost every day. He went to school in the day, and after school, he would go home to practice. However, as he studied the 5 animal frolics, Li Fan became more and more energetic. His whole body was glowing, and his eyes would occasionally shine. Practicing the 5 animal frolics in the morning had become Li Fan's habit. Murong Ying was wearing a light yellow homeware, standing at the door, watching Li Fan practice to his heart's content. Her eyes could not help but show a little jealousy. This pure young body was really powerful. After learning external techniques for a month, Li Fan basically understood the essence of it. If only he was a man, he would not have to worry about inheriting the family business. Wife, how is it? Climbing into your bed is just around the corner, right? Li Fan gradually got used to living with Murong Ying, and slowly became glib and flirtatious. You're asking for a beating. Murong Ying fiercely rolled her eyes at Li Fan. With your mediocre skills, it's a joke. Aren't you hurting your husband's heart too much? Li Fan was unhappy. Even if she was the martial arts alliance master, she could not look down on him like this. After practicing diligently for a month, he felt that his strength had increased a lot. You don't believe me? Then I'll accompany you for a few moves and broaden your horizons. In order to prove her status in the family, Muronging walked to the center of the field and hooked her finger at Li Fan. If you can touch the corner of my clothes within 30 moves, you win. What do I get if I win? You should wake up. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Don't be so stubborn. Let me kiss you then. No. Muronging shook her head like a rattledrum. I've just recovered some of my internal energy. You can't kiss me. Don't worry, it's not a French kiss, just a light one. Just take it as a benefit for me to practice martial arts for this month. Li Fan relaxed his requirements. Are you a pervert? Fuck, we're an old couple. Are you going to agree or not? Who's an old married couple with you? You'll have to meet me first. A ray of light flashed in Muronging's eyes. She stood there, her aura seemed to merge with the surroundings. But Li Fan didn't notice this. He was secretly happy. Today, the day to re-establish the authority of the husband has finally arrived. In the 5 animals frolics, the animal with the best endurance is the deer, while the animal with the most agile steps is the monkey. These 2 kinds of steps, Li Fan didn't stop practicing for a month. At this time, he stomped his feet and raised his internal energy. His whole body instantly jumped more than 3 meters away, exceeding the limit of an ordinary person. At the same time, Li Fan reached out his hand to grab Muronging's arm. Although Muronging's martial arts has regressed, she is still the current leader of the Wuling world. Her body lightly leaned to the side and avoided Li Fan's hand. Too many tricks. Muronging dodged and didn't forget to scold Li Fan. You want to climb into my bed with this? Practice for another 10 years. Li Fan grabbed several times in a row, but didn't even touch the corner of Muronging's clothes. This Muronging's fairy shoes fluttered. He didn't know what kind of footwork she used, but it was much better than his qigong. This is Murong's family's colorful fallen petals. It is a very profound qigong, but it's not suitable for you to practice. Muronging saw Li Fan's doubt and said proudly. This is too unfair. Li Fan shouted unfair, but Muronging smiled and said, it's your own poor ability that can't get the benefits. Are you blaming me? These words stimulated Li Fan's self-esteem. He couldn't even compare to his own woman. What's the use of practicing martial arts? The blood in his body seemed to boil and flow faster, making Li Fan's heart beat faster and his brain excited. At that moment, as his blood flowed faster, the whole world seemed to slow down. Although he didn't know why, for Li Fan, it was undoubtedly a good thing. He took this opportunity and immediately jumped up. With the help of his internal force, Li Fan jumped 2 meters high. He turned upside down in the air and grabbed Muronging below him. Agile monkey fishing the moon. Muronging saw Li Fan's movements suddenly speed up, which was somewhat out of her expectation. However, she had been through hundreds of battles. She leaned back and dodged Li Fan's wonderful attack. However, Li Fan was not discouraged. Almost subconsciously, he let his innate chi sink down and made 1,000 catties drop. At the same time, with his right hand, he used the Black Tiger Steals the Heart to dig out. This Black Tiger Steals the Heart was said to be the most common move in wuxia novels. In fact, this move was very fierce. A person with profound internal force could directly explode the opponent's heart. But Li Fan didn't use too much true qi. He wasn't murdering his wife. He just wanted to catch Muronging. Muronging was halfway down. She didn't expect Li Fan to use 1,000-pound drop and Black Tiger Steals the Heart to chase after her. She was too surprised and forgot to dodge. She was actually hit by him. I succeeded. Li Fan was overjoyed. As long as he worked hard, he could do it. But why was his hand so soft? Damn. Black Tiger steals the heart. This girl's heart is paw. Muronging sent Li Fan flying with a slap. Even if this woman's internal force regressed, she was still so fierce. You really are a pervert. Murong Ying's face was flushed. She angrily stared at Li Fan. I swear to God, I'm really wronged. Li Fan felt wronged. Although it felt good. Moreover, Muronging didn't wear a bra early in the morning. Excuses. Anyway. I'm canceling the benefits. Muronging angrily turned around and left, leaving Li Fan to grieve alone. Young master, don't be sad. How about I give you some benefits? Tai Zhu had been watching from the side for a long time. At this time, she shyly said, I'm so shy. My face is so hot. Hot your sister. Li Fan also fled from the training room. These days were really messed up. For the whole day, Muronging didn't come to their classroom to listen. A lot of boys looked dazed. Li Fan also felt uncomfortable. But the feeling in the morning. He was still enjoying it. A month ago, he was still a boy who couldn't find a dance partner. A month later, he actually touched the beautiful chief's chest. It was like a dream. Li Fan was lamenting the impermanence of life. At this time, Wang Xiaoyuan, who was an aisle away on the left, suddenly gave him a small note when the teacher wasn't paying attention. Come to the library on the 5th floor after class, okay? What the hell, what does this mean? Is the class bell asking me out? Chapter 12. Li Fan had never received a note from a girl since he was a child. This was the first time in thousands of years. The Kirin arm that he had been practicing for more than 10 years was finally going to explode. Li Fan muttered in his heart. Or could it be that his luck had turned for the better? Was he going to start having good luck with women? After class, he went to the 5th floor as promised. The 5th floor was empty. It was said that a girl had hanged herself here in the old library. Therefore, the entire floor was basically abandoned, especially the library, where no one dared to go. Why did Wang Xiaoyuan ask to meet him there? Could it be that she wanted to confess to him? Impossible, isn't she Wang Chang's girl? Li Fan kept guessing. He didn't know that in the library on the 5th floor, besides Wang Xiaoyuan, Wang Chang and the others were also hiding behind a row of tables at the back. He sat with several famous hooligans in the school and offered them cigarettes one by one. Brothers, I'm counting on you today. Wang Chang was given a good Zhonghua cigarette. The hooligans had never smoked this before. They all smiled happily and patted their chests, promising to help him. Wang Chang, don't worry. I, Xiaoli, have the final say in second middle school. Lu Xiaoli had dyed his hair yellow and put on a lip stud. He believed in the philosophy of punk, and the teachers didn't want to control him. Yes, yes, yes. Brotherly, you have to kill him today. If Li Fan breaks an arm or a leg, I'll pay for it. You won't mistreat us. Wang Chang fully displayed his character as a rich second generation. Lu Xiaoli slapped his thigh. Wang Chang, you're wrong. Are we helping you out of money? We're here to fight for our loyalty. Don't talk about money. Money hurts feelings. Big Zhuang, don't you think so? He patted the big guy next to him. The big guy was smoking happily. When he heard his boss calling him, he quickly nodded, yes, yes. Brotherly is right. Slap. Lu Xiaoli gave him a slap. Are you fucking stupid? Speak properly. Only then did the big guy react. He covered his face and said in an aggrieved tone, "Ah, no, brotherly. We admire your loyalty, but we can't help you for free. You brat, why do you only care about money?" Lu Xiaoli said resentfully, "Wang Chang, look at these brothers of mine. Their awareness is not as high as mine. I think he's right. When the time comes, everyone will get 1,000 yuan. Everyone can spend it however you want." For this group of students, 1,000 was a huge sum of money. Immediately, all of their eyes turned green. "Don't worry, Wang Chang. I guarantee that I'll cut off one of that brat's legs today. He thinks he got lucky with the ladies. I'll make his chrysanthemum blossom today. Brotherly. That's called peach blossom. Fuck, I don't need you to remind me. They're all flowers anyway, aren't they the same?" As he spoke, Lu Xiaoli took out a pickaxe from his clothes and held it in his hand. Looking at his evil smile, a few hooligans couldn't help but cover their butts, feeling cold air coming out of their chrysanthemums. They waited for Li Fan to come, and Li Fan did not disappoint them. He pushed open the door of the study room and walked in. "Xiao Yuan, why are you looking for me?" When Lu Xiaoli and the others heard the noise, they immediately stood up from their hiding place. Each and every one of them fiercely held their pickaxes. Lu Xiaoli was about to open his mouth to curse, but at this time, the window next to him was suddenly smashed. A man wearing a blue coat came in, rolled on the ground, stood up, shook off the broken glass, and rushed to scold Li Fan. "I found you, you bastard. Fuck, Liao Bing, how come it's you again?" Seeing this guy, Li Fan felt a headache coming on. "In this 1 month, you've already recovered from your injury, your enthusiasm is too high. You stole my wife. As long as I'm still breathing, I'll beat you to death." Liao Bing rolled up his sleeves, revealing his palm. "I've already recovered from my injury. This time, I won't be fooled by you." With that, Liao Bing sent another slap toward Li Fan. Li Fan knew how powerful Liao Bing's thunderclap palm is. Using the ape steps, he instantly appeared 3 meters away. Bang! Liao Bing's palm hit the wall, leaving a shallow palm print, scaring Lu Xiaoli and the others, causing them to suck in a mouthful of cold air. "Fuck, what are they doing, shooting a movie? I haven't seen you for a month, your ability to escape has improved a lot." Liao Bing sarcastically laughed. He suddenly slapped the bookshelf next to him. This heavy bookshelf slid out horizontally, sealing the library door. "Today, I'll catch a turtle in a jar. Fuck you. You're the turtle. Your whole family are turtles." Li Fan choked with anger. "Liao Bing, this retard, is too difficult to deal with." Just like what Muronging said, after sealing the library, Liao Bing used speed to fight slow. His thunderclap palm was like a storm, constantly attacking Lu Xiaoli. Li Fan could only keep retreating. At the same time, he stretched out his hand, found an opening, and threw the table next to him at Liao Bing. This table weighed at least 10 kilograms, but in Li Fan's hands, it was like a toy, easily thrown. However, Liao Bing was even more exaggerated. The tables that were thrown over were all sent flying by his palm. Oh my god. Are they still human? Lu Xiaoli's calf and stomach cramped. This is fucking unscientific. Insignificant skill, you dare to use it to show off. Liao Bing proudly laughed. Son of a bitch, you think you're worthy of my goddess. Why don't you kneel down and beg me, let me break your legs. Maybe if I'm happy, I'll spare your son of a bitch's life. Li Fan frowned, burning with anger. Liao Bing, don't go too far. Idiot, in the world of martial artists, only fists speak. Liao Bing waved his palm. My thunderclap palm can teach you how to be a man. With that, he suddenly hit his palm, aiming straight at Li Fan's chest. 9 Lightning Rush. Li Fan grabbed a table and used it to block in front of him. Bang! Liao Bing's palm penetrated the table and hit Li Fan's chest, causing Li Fan to slide out and crash into a row of bookshelves behind him. Ha ha ha, weak, too weak. Liao Bing was very proud. After killing you, the goddess will be mine again. Rumble. That pile of bookshelves was suddenly knocked away. Li Fan stood up from inside and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Your uncle. Did you have fun? Li Fan's eyes seemed to be burning with a small flame. It's my turn to have fun, right? With just you. Trash. Liao Bing spat at Li Fan, but Li Fan didn't say anything. He took off his shoes and then took a strange step. His hands formed into claws and his whole body was almost half lying on the ground. Lu Xiaoli and the others had an illusion that the one standing there was not Li Fan, but a fierce tiger coming down the mountain. What is this? Xing Yi Quan. Liao Bing laughed. How could this kind of martial art defeat my thunderclap palm? Chapter 13. There were 5 poses in the 5 animal frolics, namely tiger, crane, ape, bear, and deer. When one could imitate one pose to the extreme, that was when the 5 animal frolics would show its true power. At this moment, Li Fan was like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain. He crouched on the ground and stared at Liao Bing with sparkling eyes. Liao Bing's heart began to pound. He felt like he was being stared at by a beast. What's there to be afraid of? Even if it's a real tiger, it's not like I haven't fought it before. Liao Bing straightened his mind. You're just bluffing. Today, I'll cripple you with my thunderbolt palm. As he spoke, Liao Bing suddenly dashed across the 4 meters distance and slapped both of his palms towards Li Fan's ears. However, Li Fan's expression was calm. He pressed his body down again, as if he was completely lying on the ground. Just like that, he managed to avoid Liao Bing's ears. At the same time, Li Fan's hands reached out and grabbed Liao Bing's arm. His fingers were like fangs, piercing through Liao Bing's arm and sinking into his flesh. Li Fan's hands were like the jaws of a ferocious tiger, biting Liao Bing's arm. That piercing pain made Liao Bing cry out in pain. Li Fan twisted his body and swung his arms like a ferocious tiger swinging its head. He flung Liao Bing away and smashed a desk. Hungry tiger out of the cage. Li Fan spat out a mouthful of turbid air. His hands were still dripping with dark red blood. It was a ghastly sight. This is not form and will fist. What kind of martial arts is this? Liao Bing crawled up and poked his arm a few times to stop the bleeding. He looked at Li Fan in shock. 5 animal frolics, tiger form. The blood in Li Fan's body was flowing faster, but his body was in a cold state. His mind was extremely calm. 5 animal frolics. Is that gymnastics? Impossible. Liao Bing roared, and Li Fan's body moved again. In Liao Bing's eyes, Li Fan was like a ferocious tiger coming down from the mountain. He was almost running on the ground at an extremely fast speed. In just a few steps, he was already in front of Liao Bing. At the same time, his 2 hands were like tiger claws, and a series of rapid attacks tore at Liao Bing's chest. Liao Bing's clothes and flesh flew everywhere. Liao Bing's chest was already a bloody mess. Fierce tiger tail whip. Li Fan's series of quick attacks rendered Liao Bing unable to fight back. In the end, he stood firmly on his right foot, exerted strength from his waist, twisted his body, and clasped his hands together. Like a tiger's tail whip, he ruthlessly whipped Liao Bing's body. Liao Bing's body flew out like a kite with a broken string, smashing a window behind him and falling out of the window. Li Fan chased him to the window, only to find that there was only a pool of blood downstairs. Liao Bing was nowhere to be found. Consider yourself lucky for escaping. Li Fan shook off the blood on his fingers, and the boiling blood in his body slowly calmed down. He really defeated Liao Bing with radio calisthenics. It seems that this set of 5 animal frolics is really powerful. My wife didn't lie to me. Lu Xiaoli. What are you guys doing here? Li Fan noticed Lu Xiaoli and the others in the back row and couldn't help but ask. Ha. Ha. We were hiding and smoking. Lu Xiaoli's head was full of cold sweat. Li Fan asked again, then why are you guys holding a pick and a rake? Isn't this exercise? Exercise. With that, Lu Xiaoli pretentiously waved his pick and a few times. The surrounding punks also came to their senses. One by one, they followed suit and waved their pick, and a lively discussion. Yes, let's exercise together. Brotherly. You can't do this. Didn't you say you're going to break his legs? Wang Chang had been hiding behind the table. He only heard the clanking sound, but he didn't see the scene of Li Fan's invincible power. He was still waiting for Li Fan to get beaten up. When he heard Lu Xiaoli's words, he couldn't help but jump up. Yo, isn't this Wang Chang? You're here too. Li Fan already understood 70 to 80%. This Wang Chang really likes to cause trouble. He didn't look for him, but he came to pester him. Brotherly, what are you waiting for? Wang Chang anxiously said, go up and beat him up. If you break him, I'll pay for it. Lu Xiaoli said in his heart, fuck, am I going to break him or is he going to break me? I'm just an ordinary student. How can I casually hit someone? Lu Xiaoli dryly laughed twice. Wang Chang anxiously said, didn't Brotherly say that you're the tyrant of second high? Fuck, why aren't you letting me brag? Brotherly, what's wrong with you? Where's your killer style? Kill your sister, scram. Lu Xiaoli kicked Wang Chang down. This idiot, quickly get away from him. Don't appear in front of me in the future. Otherwise, I'll beat you up every time I see you. After Lu Xiaoli berated him, he turned his head and smiled apologetically at Li Fan, Brother Fan. Master Fan, we're really just training our bodies. Please don't believe this idiot's words. You're a good child. I believe you. Li Fan held back his laughter, quickly go to class. Don't mess around in the future. It's very dangerous. Yes. Master Fan is right. In the future, I will definitely study hard and improve every day. Lu Xiaoli brought a group of people and slipped away. Wang Chang, on the other hand, was completely dumbfounded. What was going on? Why was the situation different from what he had imagined? Li Fan. That. I was also tricked by him. Whoa. Wang Chang, this bastard, swindling money and sex, you have to stand up for me. Wang Xiaoyuan began to wipe her tears. Wang Chang was about to vomit blood. All right. In the future, stay away from that scum.
Li Fan knew that and was too lazy to argue with Wang Xiaoyuan. He looked at Wang Chang with some ridicule, turned around, and left the library. Fortunately, the library had been abandoned. Otherwise, he would definitely be punished for being beaten up like this. Until the end of school, no one came to provoke Li Fan again, leaving Li Fan in peace. Li Fan bumped into Murong Ying's Bentley at the school gate. Murong Ying was sitting in the car, while Tai Zhu stood in front of the car door and bowed to Li Fan. Son-in-law, please get in the car. Huh? Li Fan was a little surprised. Did the sun rise from the west today? Murong Ying actually let him go back in the car. However, How could he not be happy with such a good thing? Li Fan obediently got into the Bentley. It was really the first time a young lady got into a bridal sedan chair. Honey, did you take the wrong medicine today? You actually let me go home in the car? Li Fan teased Murong-ing, which made Murong-ing roll her eyes. You're the one who took the wrong medicine. I have business today. What business? It was incredible that a rigid person like Murong-ing could break the rules she set. Let's talk about another thing first. Li Fan, what's wrong with you? It's not like you to be hesitant. Murong-ing had always been a straightforward person. It was rare to see her hesitating like this. I'll say it. You have to be mentally prepared. Okay, you say it. No matter what it is, I can bear it. Could it be that she wants to break off the engagement with me? Looking at her hesitant look, is it really this matter? No wonder, which beauty would like to fall in love and marry a nobody like me? Forget it, let everything go with the wind. Li Fan. I am pregnant, I know. Wait, what did you say?
Chapter 14. Li Fan was dumbfounded. What's going on? Am I going to be a father? Murong-ing, don't mess around. Who's messing around? Murong-ing frowned slightly and looked at Li Fan uncomfortably. Li Fan, as a man, shouldn't you be responsible for what you've done? Of course I have to be responsible. Wait a minute, but I didn't do anything. Whose child are you pregnant with? Li Fan was about to collapse. Whose child is Murong-ing pregnant with? Does she want me to be the one to take over? Of course it's yours. Murong-ing almost shouted, raising her voice by an octave. Taizhu was shocked and looked back. Murong-ing's pretty face blushed. She then straightened her expression and said to Li Fan, besides you, who else could it be? Don't tell me that in your heart, I'm a fickle woman. But how can you be sure that I'm pregnant? I've been nauseous all day. According to the medical books, this is a sign of pregnancy. Looking at Murong-ing's serious expression, Li Fan's forehead was full of black lines. Big sister, you must have eaten something wrong. We didn't do that, how can we be pregnant? Still not admitting it. Did you forget that you touched my chest? Fuck, if touching breasts could get pregnant, would China still need to have a second child policy? Children would have already bloomed all over the place. This woman, does she even have any physiological common sense? Missy, touching breasts really won't get pregnant. At this time, Taizhu suddenly interrupted, my grandmother told me about these things. See, at least you understand. Li Fan finally breathed a sigh of relief. He almost became a father. Fuck. So that's how it is. Murong-ing thoughtfully said, then how can I get pregnant? I know. Taizhu hurriedly showed off his knowledge. Li Fan was nervous. Talking about this kind of question here, wasn't it a bit inappropriate? My grandma said that you can only get pregnant if you kiss. I see. Husband, then I'm really pregnant. Fuck. Li Fan was about to collapse. Did these two people come from Mars? Quickly go back to Mars, Earth is very dangerous. Alright, if I'm really pregnant, I'll definitely take responsibility and be a good father. At least you're responsible. Murong-ing was satisfied. She then gently stroked her flat belly, her face full of motherly radiance. What should I name the baby? If it's a boy, I'll call him Murong the hero. If it's a girl, I'll call her Murong the woman. Fuck, you even thought of a name for your child. And why is her surname Murong? Forget it, what's the point of arguing with her about this? Li Fan thought gloomily. By the way, since you're already a father, don't hook up with other girls casually. Muronging suddenly pretended to be careless and said. Ha! When did I hook up with other girls? I'm so wronged. Li Fan felt wronged. A man should dare to take responsibility for his actions. Muronging touched her belly and faintly sighed, Hey, baby, your father is an irresponsible person. He actually thought that mom didn't know that he sent a note to a girl on a date. Fuck, this woman is going crazy. Honey, you're wronging me. I didn't send the note, it was Wang Xiaoyuan who gave it to me. Besides, I didn't do anything. I just had a fight with Liao Bing. Oh. Muronging raised her eyebrows, who won? Fuck, don't you care about your husband's health? Baby, as a man, your father is actually afraid of pain. Hey, that's enough. Li Fan was going crazy, I won. That's more like it. Muronging nodded. I guess you've passed. Fuck, what if I lose? If you can't even beat an admirer, then you don't deserve to be my, Murongying's husband. Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This Muronging, isn't she a bit too domineering? This woman probably doesn't know what gentleness is. Seeing that you've won, I'll let you off the hook. If there's a next time, you won't be a man anymore. Fuck, who's cheating? Li Fan was wronged, he really couldn't say it out loud. Even if he lost, he couldn't lose. He absolutely couldn't let Muronging be above him. My wife, what you said is wrong. Li Fan suddenly said solemnly, the ancient said it well, if you don't want a man to cheat, you must at least feed him well. You didn't feed me well at home, yet you blame me for cheating outside. Isn't this unreasonable? What do you mean I didn't feed you well? Muronging wasn't a muddle-headed woman. After thinking for a bit, she understood the mystery behind it. Her face immediately sank, and she said, Didn't you touch my chest? As a man, how can I be satisfied with just touching my chest? Li Fan said righteously, Haven't you heard the saying, the bigger the heart, the bigger the stage? Humph. Muronging felt that Li Fan was being unreasonable, but she didn't know how to refute. She simply turned her head, no longer paying attention to Li Fan, and then touched her lower abdomen. Baby. Your father is a big pervert. Don't learn from him when you grow up. Fuck, here it comes again. This isn't the way to go home. Li Fan found that the direction of the car was not right, and the surrounding scenery was becoming more and more unfamiliar. He quickly asked, Tai Zhu, are you going the wrong way? No, son-in-law, this is the right way. Tai Zhu said with certainty. Li Fan looked at his fiancée, where are you going to take me? Could it be that your animal nature is aroused, and you want to sell me to some remote mountain, and become a child husband? Dream on. Girls will only want you if they are blind. Muronging suddenly felt as if she had scolded herself, and snorted again. My dear wife, where are we going? Can you tell your husband? Home. Muronging added, back to my maiden home, Murong Villa. Ha! Li Fan was stunned for a moment. Are we going to see my in-laws? Do I still have the right to speak in this family? Such a big matter, and no one informed me in advance. Why are you so agitated? I only got the notice at the last minute. Muronging rolled her eyes at Li Fan, an ugly daughter-in-law also needs to see her in-laws. That's right. Wait, who's the ugly daughter-in-law? If you want to see them, you should be meeting my parents, right? I've already met them. That's not the point, okay? I'm not prepared. To meet his father-in-law, as a high school student, how could he not be nervous? It's okay, don't be nervous. Muronging comforted Li Fan, my father just wants to see you, nothing will happen. That's good. After all, He also wants to know who is the man who made his daughter run away from home. So it's like this, then I'm relieved. Wait, what did you say? Chapter 15. Run away from home. Who would run away from home with a housekeeper and bodyguards? This Missy, is she making fun of me? Actually, you can't blame my father. Muronging sighed softly, it's just that he mentioned a marriage to me. Although the other party is a good match, I didn't agree. Sigh, what era is it now? It's still so feudal. As a woman of the new society, I have to break through this evil feudal system. Do you have the right to say such things? Hurry up and apologize to the new society. Li Fan's cheeks were streaming with tears. His wife definitely has a double standard. Anyway, you don't have to worry too much. My father is an amiable person. Muronging patted Li Fan's shoulder and comforted him. Although he was known as the living Hades when he was young, his temper has changed a lot. At least he won't casually cripple people. We are husband and wife. You have to believe me. I'll believe you, my ass. Have you ever seen an amiable living Hades? Li Fan wanted to cry but no tears came out. Isn't this sending me to meet God? Especially after knowing that I have your flesh and blood, he will probably value you more. Muronging continued to comfort Li Fan, he is a person who loves children. When I was young, a boy touched my hand and he kindly broke the boy's arm. My father loves children this much. When he knows that I have a baby, he will be very happy. Is this called loving children? Breaking someone's arm is called kindness. Isn't this a fucking daughter complex? Li Fan's little heart couldn't take it anymore. God, if you want me to die, can't you just give me a quick death? Why do you have to torture me? Don't worry, you will definitely live. Muronging took out a small porcelain bottle from her pocket. This is our Murong family's Jinchuang medicine. I guarantee that it will be able to reconnect your broken arm and leg. Damn, a broken arm and leg is out. Are you kidding me? Li Fan's little heart had already stopped several times. Ah, here we are. The car finally stopped, and Taizhu opened the door for them. In front of them was a huge Chinese-style mansion. There were 2 rows of bodyguards standing in front of the gate. It was even more majestic than the one in front of Li Fan's house. There were more than 30 people in a row, and they led from the gate of the mansion to the car. Li Fan saw 3 large words hanging on the signboard above the door, Murong Residence. These 3 characters were bold and powerful, like dragons and phoenixes. One look and you could tell that they were written by an expert. What an imposing mansion, Li Fan couldn't help but sigh. Taizhu said proudly, young master, Murong's family is a famous family in the martial arts world. There was a popular saying in Jianghu, North Murong, South Sima, millions of beggars roamed the world. All the martial arts in the world enter Shaolin, while Wudang Taiji sweeps the 8 trigrams. Hold on. Li Fan asked, isn't it said that all the kung fu in the world originates from Shaolin? Why is entering Shaolin Temple here? That's a misunderstanding. Taizhu explained, during the Yuan dynasty, martial arts were forbidden, but Shaolin Temple was highly respected by the rulers. In order to avoid the world, many experts stored their family's kung fu in Shaolin Temple. Therefore, there is a saying that all the kung fu in the world enters Shaolin Temple. So that's how it is, Li Fan nodded. I haven't learned this part of history. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go in. Don't let my father wait. Muronging said softly, although he is kind, he doesn't have much patience. Kind my ass. Li Fan really wanted to complain, but seeing the burly bodyguards around him, he held it in. In someone else's territory, it was better to be low-key. Welcome back to the mansion, miss. These nearly 70 to 80 people shouted in unison, which shocked Li Fan. My goodness, a rich family is indeed different. Let's go. Murongning took the initiative to extend her hand and hold Li Fan's, leading him into Murong Mansion. Along the way, although Murongning asked Li Fan to be calm, he still couldn't help but look around. There were pavilions, terraces, and towers everywhere, and they were all connected to each other, without end. Li Fan silently counted. They had walked into more than 10 courtyards. There were mountains and rivers in Murong Manor. It really looked like a place where the relatives of the emperor lived in ancient times. The Murong family was indeed rich and powerful. Did this mean that he had climbed up a high branch? No, a man should be indomitable. What's the point of living off a woman? Li Fan silently decided that no matter how much money Murong's family had, he would not spend a single cent of their money. Son-in-law, this way please. Halfway there, Li Fan was stopped by Tai Zhu. Go take a bath and change your clothes first. You can't meet my father like this. Murongning pointed to Li Fan's dirty school uniform. I'll wait for you in Juxiang Garden. All right. It was indeed inappropriate to meet his father-in-law like this. Li Fan could only follow Tai Zhu to a courtyard on the side. There was only a huge room in front of him with the words, Jade Dragon Pool, hanging on it. Son-in-law, please take a bath and change your clothes inside. Tai Zhu stood at the door, pointed at the door, and said respectfully to Li Fan. Got it. Wasn't it just taking a bath? There was no need to make it so formal. Li Fan pushed the door open and was instantly stunned. Is this a bathhouse? There was a pool of about 100 square meters in the room. The wall was carved with a dragon head, spitting water into the pool. On both sides of the pool, there were more than 10 beautiful maids. When they saw Li Fan come in, they all rushed forward. Son-in-law, I'll help you take off your clothes. Son-in-law, I'll help you scrub your back. Son-in-law, I can help you wash inside and out. What the hell is going on? Is this a bathhouse or heaven? Li Fan burst into tears. I actually get this kind of treatment? No. Where did the integrity just now go? Li Fan, you must block the enemy's pink cannonball. I'll get out. I'll bathe myself. Li Fan reluctantly drove all these beautiful maids out, but it was still more relaxed to take a bath alone. Li Fan swiftly took off his clothes. While reminiscing about those beautiful maids, he walked into the warm pool. It was really a waste to bathe in such a big place alone. Sigh, I also want to wake up from a bed that was tens of thousands of square meters. And then the bed would be filled with beautiful harem. TSK, a man should have some ambition. At this moment, the door of the Jade Dragon Pool was pushed open. Li Fan's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that those maids are back? Forget it, it's not easy for them to work hard. This time, I'll give them a chance to perform. Li Fan turned his head with the intention of sacrificing his sex appeal. In the end, he saw Tai Zhu wrapped in a bath towel walking in. Damn, this bath towel is about to burst from his muscles. Son-in-law, I know those rough women can't serve you, so I came personally. Come your sister. I don't like to bathe with others. Li Fan was about to cry, all of you get out, stay away from me. Don't leave anyone within 100 meters. Yes, son-in-law. Tai Zhu left with some regret, muttering, my massage is great, no matter how great it is, there's no need. Damn, this is a female monster. After Tai Zhu walked far away, Li Fan finally let out a long sigh of relief and took a bath in the pool with peace of mind. Not to mention, after taking a bath like this, the fatigue of the day was gone. The life of a rich person is really good. Such a big pool, it's enough for swimming. Li Fan's playful mind was aroused. He pinched his nose and sank to the bottom of the pool, diving underwater. At this moment, Li Fan saw a pair of long legs step into the pool, and he was immediately furious. This Taiju, is there no end to it? Pooh! He broke the surface of the water, wiped the water droplets off his face, and shouted angrily. Taiju, I didn't ask you to. In front of him, a beautiful naked girl was staring at him with a pair of black and white eyes, looking at him with some horror. Li Fan was dumbfounded. It seems, something is wrong. Chapter 16. Li Fan blinked his eyes twice, looked at the girl's flawless body in front of him, and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Taiju. You've changed a lot, huh? But this is basically impossible. Li Fan thought that the beautiful girl in front of him would fly into a rage, but he didn't expect her to sweetly smile. You only have two choices. Either marry me, or die. Ah. Then I choose to marry you. Li Fan did not hesitate to make what he thought was the most correct choice, but the beautiful girl in front of him sweetly smiled. As you wish, go to hell. The beautiful girl covered her chest with one hand, while the other hand grabbed a handful of warm pool water and threw it toward Li Fan. That water droplet actually turned into ice needles, covering Li Fan's vital acupoints. What kind of kung fu is this? Li Fan didn't have time to think. He leaned back, and with a splash, his whole body fell into the pool water, dodging these ice needles. Do you think you can escape? The beautiful girl fiercely said, even if I kill you, this miss will dig out your two eyeballs. You're too ruthless. With a splash, Li Fan poked his head out of the pool. Not to mention, this beautiful girl's figure is quite good. What about marrying you? When you're dead, this miss will burn the photo for you. The beautiful girl smiled innocently. You can rest in peace. Don't you want to think about it seriously? Then I'll think about it again. Okay, I've decided, I'll kill you. The beautiful girl said, waved her hand, and several ice needles flew toward him. This time, the number of ice needles was a bit more. Li Fan immediately grabbed the bath towel from the side, waved it, and instantly covered these ice needles, hugging them into a ball. Give it back to you. Li Fan said, grabbed the bath towel, and shook it. His true chi swayed on top of the towel, making the water droplets on the bath towel fly in all directions. The ice needles also retraced their steps. The beautiful girl was shocked. She took a familiar step and leaned her body to the side, preparing to dodge the ice needles. But at this moment, she slipped and fell into the pool with a cry of surprise. The beautiful girl cried out in fear. She seemed to have fallen miserably. Did he choke on water? Please don't kill anyone. He was here to see his father-in-law today, not to kill someone. It would be terrible if something happened. Li Fan hurriedly ran forward, wanting to help the beautiful girl up. As for the beautiful girl lying in the water, she was almost completely exposed in front of Li Fan. This was a scene that he had only seen on the screen. He had never seen such a beautiful scene in real life. Li Fan couldn't hold it in any longer. He thought to himself, don't look at indecent things. He tried his best to avert his eyes, but at this moment, a cold wind swept across his face. The beautiful girl had a cold smile on her face, and her palm was as white as jade. She went straight for Li Fan's face. The hairs on Li Fan's face trembled. He subconsciously leaned to the side, and the palm solidly landed on his shoulder. A wave of cold air entered his body. At this moment, Li Fan felt as if his entire body was in a world of ice and snow. His body was cold, and he instantly stiffened. But at the same time, a fiery hot true chi surged out from his dantian. Like a guardian protecting the country, it fiercely drove away the cold air. In the blink of an eye, the cold air was expelled from his body. White smoke billowed out from Li Fan's body. Looking at the pool water around him, there were pieces of ice crystals, gathering and not melting. Ha! The beautiful girl had already stood up from the pool water. At the same time, she wrapped herself in a bath towel. At this moment, there was a trace of shock in her beautiful eyes. After eating my heart-chilling ice palm, he was actually safe and sound. Who the hell are you? Me. The cold air in Li Fan's body had been completely dispersed. His body was still emitting hot air. My name is Li Fan. Li Fan. The beautiful girl's eyebrows rose up. She suddenly smiled sweetly and walked in front of Li Fan, causing Li Fan to subconsciously take 2 steps back. What are you afraid of? The beautiful girl licked her lips. Are you afraid that I will eat you until there are no bones left? Don't joke around. Li Fan felt that his blood was a bit congested. This woman is too dangerous. She is a terrorist who can kill me while smiling. How can that be? We are a family, brother-in-law. This word brother-in-law is enough to make one's bones go numb. Li Fan took 2 steps back. His heart could not help but panic. What did you call me? Brother-in-law. Aw. The beautiful girl sweetly said, just now, I misunderstood you. Sister-in-law is brother-in-law's half-wife. So what if I see? Damn, what kind of theory is this? Li Fan ridiculed. But this beautiful girl. If he carefully looked at her face, she does have some resemblance to Murong. But their characters are like heaven and earth apart. Are they really blood sisters? My name is Murong Love. You are my blood sister. If you don't believe me, brother-in-law, you can kiss me. Murong Love shyly said. Her appearance is poles apart from before. Li Fan's heart thumped. What is this stretching out? Isn't this a plot that brother-in-law cannot do? Brother-in-law. The choice just now. I want to change it a bit. Murong Love gently stepped forward and leaned on Li Fan's warm chest and softly said. Sister-in-law. Please behave yourself. A sister-in-law who would throw herself at him. Was this really not a dream? No. This must be a trap. Li Fan looked at this beautiful girl wrapped in a bath towel. Another scene appeared in his mind. A monster with the upper body of a beautiful girl and the lower body of a spider is weaving a big web. He is stuck in the web and is unable to move. Li Fan subconsciously pushed Murong Love away. Please behave yourself. Actually, I am a very traditional man. Brother-in-law. But I have been seen by you. Murong Love shyly said, actually. We are both Murong family's daughters. You marry my sister and you marry me, isn't it the same? Murong Love said and winked at Li Fan. Moreover, you see. I am younger than my sister, prettier. And more tender, isn't it? Damn. Every word of Murong Love was like an arrow, directly hitting Li Fan's heart. In terms of appearance, this pair of sisters are indeed equally matched. Each has their own merits. But the younger sister is obviously much younger. Moreover, she seems to be taller than Murong. Her legs are longer. This won't do. Li Fan said that he is a leg fetish. He loves long legs the most. If this goes on, won't he fall into a trap? He must find out where she is inferior to Murong. Shouldn't a martial artist be good at observation? Li Fan looked up and down with his fiery eyes. Murong Love did not avoid him. Instead, she proudly stuck out her chest. Li Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. That's right. You are inferior to your sister. How could it be? Which part of me is inferior to my sister? Your chest. Not as big as hers. Chapter 17. Murong's expression changed as if she was about to explode in anger. But it was only for a moment before she calmed down. A smile reappeared on her face as she charmingly winked at Li Fan. All of these were signs of danger. Won't it be big if I rub it? I have to rely on you, brother-in-law. This way of addressing him as brother-in-law, isn't it too smooth? Stop fantasizing. It's impossible to rub it big. Li Fan hit the nail on the head, and the corner of Murong Ai's mouth twitched. She is enduring. She must be enduring. Li Fan muttered in his heart. Let's see how much you can endure. If it really doesn't work, I can get a breast enlargement injection for you. When Murong spoke, there was an obvious tremble in her voice. No, the feeling is completely different. Li Fan shook his head. Fake is fake. It can't be real. Li Fan felt a strong murderous aura. That's right. Quickly erupt and expose your true purpose. Son-in-law. Son-in-law. Are you done bathing? Tai Zhu's voice came from outside the door. Next time, I will definitely let you marry me. Murong said as she put on a piece of clothing and jumped out from the window next to the bathtub. What the hell? Li Fan was confused. This Murong Ying's family was not normal. Did their whole family take the wrong medicine? Could it be that rich people all have psychological problems? At this moment, Tai Zhu pushed the door and entered. When he saw Li Fan standing there naked, his face immediately turned red. He turned his head and covered his cheek as he swayed his waist. So shy. I saw something that I shouldn't have seen. See your sister. Li Fan almost collapsed. What the hell are you being shy for? Son-in-law. I've put your clothes here. It's almost time. All right. Put it down and get out. Son-in-law. I'm waiting for you at the door. Hee your grandpa. Li Fan watched as Tai Zhu twisted his butt and ran out. His heart was still crumbling. His guess was right, this was indeed a family of lunatics. He walked out of the bath without using a towel, and his body quickly dried. When Li Fan followed Tai Zhu to the front of the mansion, Murong Ying, who was standing at the door, suddenly brightened up. At this time, Li Fan was wearing a black martial arts suit. It was fitting, giving Li Fan the temperament of a martial artist. That's why people say that clothes make the man, and the Buddha makes the gold. The ancients can't bully me. Li Fan felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by Murong Ying. What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? When did I look at you? Murong Ying looked at the sky indifferently. I just feel that the weather is good today. Who would believe you? Oh right, I think I saw your sister just now. Li Fan pondered for a moment and decided to talk to Murong Ying about this matter. Oh. Where did you meet her? On the road. Li Fan said in a low voice, anyway. She attacked me. She grabbed the water droplet and threw out the ice needle. What kind of martial art is this? Don't talk nonsense. Murong Ying's face suddenly changed. Her face became sullen and ugly. That is an evil martial art. How could my Murong family know this kind of thing? With that, she glared at Li Fan. Don't talk nonsense again. Otherwise, I'll cut your tongue. Fuck their sister. These two sisters, one likes to dig out people's eyes and the other likes to cut people's tongues. Truly, if they weren't of the same family, they wouldn't enter the same door. Don't let my father wait too long. Go in. Murong said as she pushed the door and entered. This big house is very bright. There is a set of antique mahogany furniture. Obviously, it is not an ordinary item. The geomancy of this big house is also very exquisite. The four sides are square, and there is a white snake coiled on the beam. Li Fan heard the old man say that in ancient times, the houses of famous families liked to raise snakes. This snake is commonly known as Qian Chenzi. If one day the snake leaves the house, it means that this house is going to be ruined. The area of this house is not small. A middle-aged man wearing a white martial robe is standing in the middle of the house, slowly practicing his sword. His sword dance does not have that kind of wind and thunder feeling. Instead, it is like he is cultivating his mind, very simple and elegant. When the man is practicing his sword, Murong did not dare to make a sound. She pulled Li Fan and stood to the side, waiting. Only when the man handed the sword to the servant next to him and wiped his sweat with a towel did she raise her head. I'm old. Just a few moves and I'm already sweating. Father is still old but vigorous. His divine skill is matchless. Murong even nudged Li Fan with her elbow without batting an eyelid. Li Fan came back to his senses. He was anxious and a little nervous, so he cupped his hands and said, I wish Big Brother a long life and unify the martial world. Murong forehead is full of black lines. Li Fan himself is about to cry. Fuck, I was anxious, how could I say Invincible East's lines? But the middle-aged man's expression is still calm. He looked at his daughter and muttered, Good girl. Why have you been away from home for so many days? Look, you've lost weight. Quickly let Daddy hug you. This time, cold sweat appeared on Li Fan's forehead. Fuck, is this really a peerless expert? Isn't this a motherfucker? Father. I'm fine. I'm not a child anymore. Murong is obviously a little embarrassed. She coughs twice, and the middle-aged man immediately wipes his tears. Good girl, your mother died early. Back then, I was a father and a mother and raised you. Now that you've grown up, you think that daddy is too naggy and troublesome, so you don't want a daddy anymore. Lord Father. I really didn't mean that. Murong forehead is full of black lines. After all, Li Fan is still here, so she probably can't hold it in anymore. Father. Li Fan is still here. Oh. The middle-aged man's gaze falls on Li Fan. At that moment, Li Fan feels as if he has fallen into an ice cellar, and a kind of terror spreads from the bottom of his heart. This man is so scary. Only at the moment when he looks at me, does his body explode with the feeling of an expert. But he only glances at Li Fan, and then warmly looks at his daughter and says, Good girl, Daddy has arranged a marriage for you. Be good, Dad has arranged a marriage for you. It is very suitable for you. The middle-aged man keeps calling his daughter by her nickname, which makes Li Fan especially uncomfortable. How can such a cute name be suitable for Murong? Father, I've already chosen a husband. Murong immediately says, I hope that father can respect a woman's wishes. Good girl, your mother died early. Back then, I was a father and a mother and raised you. Now that you've grown up, you think that daddy is too naggy and troublesome, so you don't want to listen to daddy anymore. Li Fan wipes his cold sweat. This middle-aged man's nickname is Xianglin Sao. Father. I don't dare. Murong is also very embarrassed, but the middle-aged man waves his hand, Little Zheng, come out and meet my daughter. Chapter 18. Murong father's name is Murong Bo. As soon as his voice falls, an elegant young master comes out from the side door. He is wearing a black and purple brocade robe and holding a delicate jade fan in his hand. Li Fan looks from the side and mutters in his heart, "Who the hell is this gigolo?" "My dear, this is the young master of an aristocratic family that I want to introduce to you." Murongbo smiles and is about to introduce, but Muronging interrupts him with a black face. "Father. In front of outsiders, can you call your daughter's name? Alas, your daughter has grown up and doesn't want your father anymore." As you wish." Li Fan can see that this Muronging has no way to deal with her father. "Miss Murong, this young master has admired you for a long time." That gigolo waves his fan and smilingly says to Muronging, "This young master is the descendant of Tsangxing's Chiu family, Chiu Wuhan. After Miss Murong marries into our family, this young master will treat you as a guest and take good care of Miss Murong. Look, what a good child." Murongbo wipes the tears from the corner of his eyes, handing "My dear to you, I feel relieved. I don't agree to this marriage." Muronging flatly refuses, "Father, your daughter is no longer a 3-year-old child, I still need father to decide everything for me. You've grown up and don't want your father anymore." Li Fan wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Fuck, this again. Was there no end to this old man's nonsense? No matter what father says, your daughter must have the final say in this matter. Muronging still insists, which makes Li Fan feel touched. Sure enough, this woman still has feelings for him, it's not a waste of a month to get along with her. Li Fan is the husband chosen by your daughter. If you want to interfere with my daughter's marriage, you must first defeat Li Fan. Fuck. Li Fan almost cried. So this was what she was thinking. "Hey, so you brought someone back." Murong's gaze fell on Li Fan. Li Fan didn't recognize her and ridiculed her. "Fuck, are you pretending to see me now? How can this good-for-nothing kid be worthy of my darling?" Murong pouted. "I don't recognize this son-in-law. I'll choose my husband." Muronging looked at her father firmly, "Chiu Wuhan, if you want to marry me, you have to defeat the husband I have chosen first." "As you wish, Miss Murong." Chiu Wuhan glanced at Li Fan, closed his jade fan, pointed at him, and said, "Boy, for the sake of Miss Murong, I'll cut off one of your arms, but spare your life." With that, he sprang his feet, lightly stepping on his qinggong. He instantly arrived in front of Li Fan. "To deal with you, I don't even need to use my family's azure star finger." Just as his voice fell, his jade fan poked Li Fan's acupoints 3 times. Li Fan felt the pain, his body half kneeled down, and Chiu Wuhan's fan pressed on Li Fan's head. Weak, really too weak. Chiu Wuhan's mouth rose. "Speak, which leg do you not want?" "Gang after gang. They are looking down on me." Li Fan's anger began to burn from the bottom of his heart. The whole world seemed to slow down, even Chiu Wuhan's laughter was slowed down. His body suddenly shook, and the energy in his dantian seemed to explode, flooding his meridians. The strong energy knocked Chiu Wuhan's body away, causing him to take 3 steps back. What's going on? He was somewhat shocked. He was an expert of the Chiu family, how could he be knocked away by a little kid? Li Fan slowly stood up, his whole aura changed. At this time, he opened his arms, and fiercely clapped his palms, full of power. That kind of sturdy feeling made Chiu Wuhan feel that the person standing in front of him was not a human, but a giant bear. 5 animals play, bear form. What is this? Chiu Wuhan was startled for a moment. "It's your grandfather." Li Fan jumped, and his fists, with the power of jumping, smashed down on Chiu Wuhan. Chiu Wuhan raised his jade fan, and subconsciously blocked the top of his head. Bang! Chiu Wuhan's fan was smashed, and his whole body was smashed, and his head fiercely smashed on the ground, creating a crack in the ground. If not for the chi protecting his body, it was estimated that his head would have been smashed. This kid. Even Murong was stunned for a moment. This Chiu family's kid's strength is not bad, but he was actually smashed by him. Moreover, this is 5 animals play. It seems to be a low-level external technique. Bastard. You have angered me. Chiu Wuhan's left hand slapped the ground, and his body bounced up, and his 2 fingers instantly pointed at Li Fan. On top of his fingers, something seemed to shoot out. Be careful, this is Azure Star Finger. Murongning immediately transmitted her voice to Li Fan, and an invisible chi pierced through Li Fan's shoulder, and blood flew out. This kind of pain, he had never felt before, as if it went deep into his bone marrow. A mere layman. You dare to hurt my perfect face. Chiu Wuhan touched the wound on his face, and his mouth even uttered a scream, I'm going to kill you. But Li Fan clenched his teeth, wrinkled his brows, and used his chi to seal his blood and chi. This Azure Star Finger is a bit like the 6-pulse divine sword. Azure Star shows the way. The few fingers of Chiu Wuhan's 2 hands unceasingly poked at Li Fan, slender chi broke through the air, and shot towards several acupoints of Li Fan. As for Li Fan, his blood was boiling, his vision slowed down, and a few strands of energy became clearly visible. Li Fan rubbed against these chi, and along the gap, rushed in front of Chiu Wuhan. Impossible. Chiu Wuhan could not believe his eyes. But Li Fan raised his palm, and slapped Chiu Wuhan's chest. Black Bear slapping the door. This slap, with the 11 years of true chi from Murongning, heavily hit Chiu Wuhan, and sent him flying. For the first time, a proud smile appeared on the corner of Murong Ying's mouth. But Murong suddenly stretched out his hand, caught Chiu Wuhan, and then shook his hand. Chiu Wuhan's chi was immediately dissolved, and Murong sighed. Useless, strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Father, prove that your daughter did not choose the wrong person. Oh my. But after all, your father did not take a fancy to this kid. He is a waste wood, destined to achieve nothing. How can he be my, Murong's, son-in-law? Don't go too far. Li Fan could not hold it in anymore. What right do you have to decide my life? Because of your stupid look. Murong bluntly said, my daughter is the Martial Arts Alliance leader. You? Who do you think you are? Isn't it just the Martial Arts Alliance leader? I, your father, will show you. Murong's eyes suddenly widened, and then he slapped Li Fan. If you have the ability to talk big, then eat my palm first. Ah! Murongning was shocked, but Li Fan sank his chi into his dantian, and the chi obtained from Murongning gathered in his body, and filled his palm. Black Bear slapping the door. Li Fan and Murong's palms collided, and a powerful chi impact on Li Fan's body. Li Fan's eyes suddenly turned black, and then he did not know anything. Marrying a wife is really not easy. Li Fan only had such a thought in his mind, and then he completely fainted. Chapter 19. Husband, Rinja missed you. Li Fan looked at the shy Murongning standing in front of him and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. What's going on? This is a dream. It must be a dream. Husband. Rinja wants a kiss. Murong Ying's red lips kissed him, causing Li Fan to jump even faster. Not knowing why, there was a bad premonition shrouding Li Fan's heart. He suddenly opened his eyes and saw Taiju's scary big face, pouting and kissing him. Fuck. Li Fan pushed her face away. What are you doing? Taiju's throat moved a bit and said with a bit grievance, Rinja saw son-in-law sleeping soundly. So I want to feed son-in-law the medicine. Feed your sister. Li Fan almost collapsed. Keep a meter. No, 5 meters. No, 10 meters away from me. But, son-in-law. This medicine. I don't want to drink it, I'm fine. Li Fan's mood was very depressed. He was beaten for no reason. Murong Bo, that old man was too shameless. He actually hit him. Where's Muronging? Master is in seclusion these 2 days. Eldest Miss is dealing with Murong's family. Taiju honestly stood by the door and answered. These 2 days. How many days have I been unconscious? Li Fan had a bad premonition. 3 days. Taiju raised 3 fingers. Li Fan almost went crazy. What about the school? Don't worry, son-in-law, the school has already helped you apply for leave. Taiju comforted him. What leave? Li Fan said, Number 2 middle school has always been known for being strict and abnormal. Ordinary leave is unlikely to be granted. Sick leave. Taiju said with a smile, Eldest Miss said you had a hemorrhoid operation, so you need to rest for a few days. Fuck me. Li Fan broke down. How was he going to face people at school in the future? Son-in-law, you must be hungry. I'll go to the kitchen to prepare some food for you. When Taiju saw that Li Fan had woken up, he was still a little happy. He went to the kitchen to prepare Li Fan's lunch. Li Fan had been in a coma for 3 days, so his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Forget it, so be it hemorrhoids. Anyway, it's good to be lazy for a few days. However, he was not reconciled to the fact that he was knocked unconscious by Murong. This was too shameful. Damn it, if only I were stronger. Li Fan slammed his fist on the wall next to him, causing several pieces of the wall to fall off. Do you want to become stronger? Just as Li Fan was feeling depressed, a familiar voice came from the window next to him. He looked up and saw a beautiful girl sitting on the windowsill. This beautiful girl was wearing a Korean school uniform. Her upper body was a blue checkered shirt, and her lower body was a brown pleated skirt, making her look young and energetic. Under the skirt was a pair of slender long legs, which made Li Fan a little restless. You, who are you? Li Fan blinked his eyes. Me. It's me. Murong Love. The little beauty widened her pair of beautiful big eyes. You actually forgot about me. Damn it. I don't dare, I don't dare. Thinking of this little witch, Li Fan had a headache. It's just that after you put on your clothes, I can't recognize you. What are you talking about? Murong Love didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Li Fan slapped his thigh. Look at my mouth. I don't know how to speak. Don't be offended. Murong Love's complexion quickly recovered. How could Rinja bear to blame you? Brother-in-law. No, brother-in-law is not close enough. Call brother-in-law husband. What kind of title was that? Damn it. Brother-in-law husband, rest assured. In front of sister, Rinja will only call you brother-in-law. This is not a problem, right? Li Fan's forehead was covered with cold sweat. He felt that he has been led by the nose by this girl. By the way, brother-in-law husband, didn't you just say that you want to become stronger? Murong Love licked her lips and asked temptingly. What are you thinking? This little beauty in Li Fan's eyes is a beautiful snake. Brother-in-law husband said that. Rinja is so sad. Murong Love wiped her eyes. There seems to be tears in the corner of her eyes. Rinja admires brother-in-law husband. Rinja really want to help brother-in-law husband become stronger. Murong Love muttered in her heart, you pervert is already very strong. You even have a pure young body. The last time we fought, you fainted for 3 days. My dad also suffered internal injuries, and is still in closed-door training. You, this guy, are you a monster? Could it be that you have some magical skill to teach me? Li Fan couldn't help but be moved, for example, 18 dragons subduing palms, Buddha's palm, and so on. Of course not. It is stronger than those things. Murong Love rolled her eyes. This is our Murong family secret. But brother-in-law husband is not an outsider, didn't sister tell you? What secret? Ah yeah. It seems that sister doesn't really like brother-in-law husband. How about brother-in-law husband marry me? Rinja loves you wholeheartedly. Let's be serious. Li Fan's heart beat faster. This woman is definitely a disaster. If she were in the Shang dynasty, she would be a living dodgy. She would definitely fool King Zhou to death. But the premise is that King Zhou must like flat breasts. Brother-in-law husband. I heard that you have a pure young body, right? Murong Love gently hooked her finger at Li Fan, but Rinjia. I have a purine body. If the two of us dual cultivate, our strength will get a qualitative leap. Hearing this, Li Fan was indeed moved. Dual cultivate. I heard that the effect is quite good. Bah, what am I thinking? Li Fan, you must block the enemy's sugar-coated bullet, beauty trap. Sister-in-law, what kind of person do you think I am?
Li Fan immediately rejected her righteously, but Murong Love stepped forward and hugged Li Fan, her whole body sticking to his bosom. With the warm and fragrant soft body in his bosom, Li Fan was somewhat restless. But Murong Love stretched out her hand, in a place where Li Fan couldn't see. She opened her fingers like an eagle's claw. But Li Fan pushed her away again, making Murong Love angry. This guy is really not straightforward at all. We can't do this, this is incest. Li Fan turned his head, looked at the potted plants on the windowsill, and muttered, "You are my sister-in-law." Idiot. Murong Love's face turned gloomy, completely different from her delicate appearance just now. She raised her palm and walked step by step towards Li Fan. Her footsteps were as light as a cat, not making any sound. Her palm carried a black gas, as if she was using some evil claw technique. This is the 1,000 spider 10,000 poisonous hands that Murong Love secretly practiced. If my sister knew about this, she would definitely beat me to death. Humph, pure young body, this lady will not be polite and accept it.
Chapter 20. 1,000 spiders 10,000 poisonous hands. Murong Love's palm slashes towards the back of Li Fan's head. If it is solid, it can scratch 5 holes in the back of Li Fan's head. Together with her essence-sucking technique, she might be able to absorb the pure young body into her body. No. Why is my willpower so weak? Li Fan suddenly squats down and hugs his head with a conflicted look. Murong Ai's hand had already reached out and directly grabbed a pod of cactus. She immediately screamed in pain and covered her mouth with her other hand. Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Li Fan hears the scream and quickly stands up to ask. No, nothing. Murong Love bears the pain and hides her right hand behind her back. She barely squeezes out a smile. What's wrong, sister-in-law? Are you feeling unwell? Murong Love shakes her head. Are you sick? Let brother-in-law take a look. Li Fan takes a step forward. Murong Love is scared and takes a step back. In a panic, she uses her right hand to support herself on the windowsill. Ah! Murong Love finally screams. Sister-in-law, what's wrong, sister-in-law? Li Fan is shocked. What's wrong? What's wrong with this family? Why are they all acting like this? From afar comes Taizhu's shout, son-in-law, Big Missy is here to see you. Murong Love's eyes are red. She rushes out of the room and bumps into Murong Ying and Taizhu. Taizhu is still holding the food box. Muronging looks at Li Fan strangely. Did you bully her? How would I dare? Li Fan cries injustice. I bully her. She should be the one bullying me. I'm such an honest person. How can you think of me like this? I should just kill myself. Take it easy. Muronging said faintly, all the furniture here is made of ancient wood. You can't afford to pay for any of them. Were they kissing each other? Li Fan was unhappy. Murongbo looked down on him, and Muronging did not have any feelings for him. She only treated him as a tool to carry on the family line. Son-in-law, have some medicinal porridge first. Tai Zhu picked up a bowl of medicinal porridge and handed it to Li Fan. Not eating. Li Fan is in a bad mood, while Muronging frowns. If you don't eat, your recovery will be slow. When you meet a challenger, how will you deal with it? Just kill me. Li Fan turned his head and said angrily. As a man, how can you say such depressing words? Muronging immediately reprimanded Li Fan, didn't you say that you wanted to be the leader of Wulin? Hurry up and eat your porridge. Go and practice. Not eating. Not going. Li Fan swung his sleeves and smashed the bowl. The medicinal porridge spilled on the ground, and the bowl was broken. Muronging's face darkened. She turned around and left. Son-in-law. This porridge was made by eldest miss who went to the mountain overnight to find a few kinds of medicinal herbs and then cooked it for you. Tai Zhu cleaned up the bowl and sighed, I am just a servant. I shouldn't say too much. Today, I was too talkative. Son-in-law, just treat it as nonsense. I know you are unhappy. But eldest miss also has it hard. With that, Tai Zhu cleaned up the floor, put the rest of the food on the table, bowed, and left. Li Fan was a little dazed. This porridge was personally cooked by Muronging. What's wrong with this woman? She is a stick and a carrot. Is she taming a beast? But why do I feel a little uncomfortable in my heart? The two of us obviously don't have any feelings for each other. Why would I feel sad for Muronging? I must be thinking too much. But Li Fan still silently opened the food box. Although it was like chewing wax, he still ate everything inside. He went back to bed and took a nap. When he opened his eyes again, the sky was already dark. Li Fan really couldn't lie down anymore. He ran outside and practiced a set of boxing. He sweated a little and his mood became a little better. Needless to say, Murong's family really knew how to enjoy life. They built their house in the suburbs. The air was very good, and they could even see the galaxy in the sky. This was almost impossible in the city. The lake in the distance was also very beautiful. The sparkling lake reflected the bright moon. Li Fan couldn't help but walk over. In the end, he saw a familiar figure standing by the lake. Muronging was also standing by the lake. She was holding a sword in her hand, and she was waving it at the lake. She seemed to be practicing swordsmanship, but her mouth was muttering. I'll chop you to death. Bastard. Li Fan shrunk his neck. Damn, isn't she using me as an imaginary enemy? So this girl is still angry. Forget it, I'll go and admit my mistake. I'm a boy, I can't lower myself to the same level as a girl. Li Fan comforted himself like this, and then walked toward Muronging. But who was Muronging? Just as Li Fan approached, he was already noticed by her. Muronging turned her head slightly, looked at Li Fan, and snorted. She sheathed her sword, and then with a light tap of her feet, her body lightly landed on the surface of the lake. Muronging's peerless movement technique and qigong were also very high. She actually stepped on the lake water, and with a burst of qigong, she floated on the water and swooshed to the other side of the lake. This woman. Was she hiding from him? Li Fan even lost his temper. Muronging, young master must catch up to you today and explain clearly. However, his qigong was not very good, and directly stepping on the water was definitely not possible. But when Li Fan saw some scattered lotus leaves floating on the surface of the lake, he immediately had an idea. He gathered a breath of true qi, and then with a few swooshes, his whole body lightly jumped into the lake. He landed on a lotus leaf, and his right foot tapped on the lotus leaf. Both his arms spread out, and like a crane flapping its wings, he patted out true qi to support his body. The lotus leaf sank slightly, and Li Fan's body floated up again, and landed on another lotus leaf, and continued to do the same. Crane flapping wings. Li Fan was like a light crane, walking on the surface of the lake on the leaves. He heard that in the past, Bodhidharma crossed the river on a reed, and he relied on lotus leaves to cross the lake. Muronging saw that Li Fan had caught up, and was slightly surprised. But she turned around and continued to use her qigong to leave. Hey, don't go. I have something to say to you. This girl was addicted to qigong. After Li Fan landed on the ground, he put away his crane form and changed into his deer form. His body was almost stuck to the ground, and every time one of his feet touched the ground, his whole body could jump 3 to 4 meters away. Li Fan was almost proficient in the 5 animals' frolics. Even if his qigong was not as good as Murongying's, he was not inferior to her in chasing. The two of them, one in front and one behind, unexpectedly, Murongying could not get rid of Li Fan. She suddenly lifted her body, and with a few steps, as if she was stepping on an invisible ladder, she jumped more than 5 meters high, and jumped onto the roof. Li Fan put away his deer form, and turned into his ape form. He jumped more than 3 meters high, and then his hands and feet nimbly climbed the wall, and also followed on the roof. The two of them stepped on the roof of Murong's residence, chasing each other. Who is it? Tai Zhu was patrolling the night, and suddenly heard some movement on the roof. He thought that it was a thief who had entered Murong's residence, but when he looked up, he calmed down. So it's a couple quarreling. Well, forget it, let them be. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.